look towards the future. Obviously, neither of these teams are going to be playing at Budapest, but that means that their journey is towards and focused on next year. You want to be looking at Cologne. You want to be playing as good as possible. And obviously, if you can get yourself into a tournament like Pro League, that's going to be a good chance to not only get the LAN experience up, but just get those LAN wins, get that VRS skyrocketing. But to get there, they have to win here. And let's see who that is going to be. Starting on the T side is Nemiga, and they got eyes on tunnels.
Wait, why do I see Roman?
But, yeah,
What's
why do you
Roman
see
doing
Roman?
here?
I guess we got a sub today.
Yeah, it seems to be, which is going to make things a little interesting, if that's even going to be much of a conversation on Dust2. Already a crunch in towards the upper tunnels. A fantastic call here from Venom. Trades didn't go their way at first, but the heavy numbers, they get their hands on that bomb. Innocent ran down through the mid-smoke, so it's back to 2-on-2, where that bomb is within CT hands.
We got action straight out of the gates. And tunnels needs to be retaken, and that's going to be happening from here on B. Xanta and Lear, spotted, and that smoke goes down on a good timing. Xanta isolated, and Lear's got a flash and a molly to try to make it happen, still with a whole minute to play with.
I mean, waiting out that smoke is going to take some time off, but Lear with that Molotov actually could flush out Sobol. Closer, or Klotsu, I imagine, is going to try and swing before. In fact, they both go swinging, and they get out of that cubby, so that Molotov for Lear is not going to be as effective.
Oh, Sobol, great position to swing on Klotsu's contact, and there it is. Oh, swinging for it. They want it, and Klotsu's going to take it with the Julies. Venom taking the pistol will put themselves in a good position to start this CT side off with a bang.
Yeah, there's you can see Nemiga were very ready and primed to fight in the tunnels crunch. They were expecting maybe just a bit of lower pressure, but then they get also split from the upper tunnels as well. And there's just far more members than they necessarily wagered for. Nemiga were swarmed, and the counter reaction was good, but just losing possession of that bomb put Nemiga in an awkward spot.
Risky Bob. Oh, we're rocking the new crosshair. I hate it. I hate watching it. I hate looking at it.
I've been using it a lot, and actually it has not changed my game at all, but I'm also not picking up the zoom banger as much as some.
That's true. I didn't mind it for the first, I think, like minute of using it, but then I kept overthinking how much inaccuracy there was with the scope, and I was like, I need the old one back. Inflate. He's looking to bring it back with an A1S. Not a lot of bullets to play with, but we'll take Risky Bob down with him. That's going to be an M4 retrievable. Short control there. Innocent not in a great position to help hold the A site, but they do have long control.
Oh dear, they've also dealt with the lower tunnels push as well, so they have free runway into this A bomb site. This counter action here from Venom. Oh, it's a great move here from Roman just to smoke off those double doors. This basically should just be a call to save here for Venom. They have very little real estate to work off of. They have no kits, and they still have to worry about this lurking Roman. If they weren't able to suss him out in the first 5-10 seconds while this plant was here, he even has an extra smoke down towards lower. Yeah, there's no chance at this round. So Force by pulling through here for Nemiga. There will be no contest. Venom will cede it.
Not bad. Nemiga hitting back on one of the rounds that is going to hurt the most for that CT economy. But with what they've got, 2 picks, a couple of rifles across to the next, do they force back?
Oh, you have to, right? You simply have to. You can't lose your honor.
Game. Yeah. Yeah. And you'd be right. Scout MP9 going to be picked up. Good utility for everyone. So still in with a very good chance here in the third. And what's the spawn saying? We do have a long spawn. So Nemiga, they are taking that with open arms.
Chance there for Flay, but it's actually the initial aggression out towards long that is stopped. Double cross to pit. First player down is risky, and that will give a weapon over that does provide an upgrade over Alan Long. Not going to be pursued here by Nemiga much longer. They'll concede that territory, but the readjustment here for Nemiga is quite substantial. It's about whether or not Soalio can prevent more reinforcements from broaching into that B bomb site.
Yeah.
He may have missed his timing.
Venom with a good setup to deal with the mid-B split if it happens. Incend chipping off some extra precious seconds from that clock. As Soalio starts to make his way out of mid, 3 men on B fully turtled up. If they commit here through a smoke, it is going to be all over for sure. Smoke at long doors reveals, ooh, a bit of information, but that pick on a Klotsu will incentivize Nemiga to walk back into the stack, and they're going to go for just that.
Yeah, I mean, they should definitely still pursue this B-bomb side. I mean, that's a perfect kill. It's exactly what you wanted out of Soalio on the lurk, and they're going to have to be very worried about that on the rotate. So it'll be 2 men inside of this B-bomb site. We'll try to stop the roll. Innocent already taking first contact, and Sobol can swing off contact. They just chew them out in the tunnels, and Lear ran down by the MP9. Venom, a complete stop on B. Nemiga get chewed up and spat out.
Sometimes the problem trying to go out that B main choke, right? You just have no room to breathe, and if you can't hit the crispy ones onto the player on site, then it just makes it that much harder. And then just, you know, the bait and switch between the 2 B site players was played so damn well that Nemiga are going to be licking their wounds. And look, they want the pride too, so they'll be forcing back into the 4th. Let's see what we end up getting from them. Risky Bob. Someone's close towards that left side of double doors. But there is going to be no early contact.
This is the one curiosity about a map like Dust2. It's not been something that's been working too great for Nemiga. And whenever I think about Lear as an in-game leader, I always think he's just a great sort of pivoting in-game caller. His mid-rounding is very swingy between, you know, major pivot points. He likes pressuring one side and then going to the other, or, you know, finding a gap. Dust2 is a map that's, you know, it's not necessarily the easiest to find those gaps without taking a straight-up duel, and, you know, if Venom can punish those head-to-heads, then Nemiga could find themselves trapped.
Oh, HVAR. Going to get caught transitioning back towards the long corner, and that'll be his downfall. No cover to play behind. And Flay going to be spotted, making his way to that corner at Car. In the meanwhile, Innocent trying to fight for his right to lock down the A site. HE out as Flay isolates another and wins it. And it's just going to be Risky Bob, last alive with the scout at long. Venom, they are hungry to take him down right here, right now. And Flay will do it with the secondary. There you have it. 3-1. Venom biting back as Nemiga's economy is now not in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, that'll feel bad as well. Nemiga know that there's a player trapped at Car. They just don't have the util because they've force bought into the round. They don't have a Molotov that can flush him out or make any of his fights uncomfortable. Didn't have the flashes they needed to make the cat to Car fight easier. That's rough. When you know where somebody is and you just can't do enough to mitigate their presence.
And shout out to Flay too, though. He did that on like 20 points of health, I think. Just managing to pull the Neo, dodge the bullets as best possible.
He was popping heads on that catwalk cross.
What do we got here? Couple of Glocks, couple of chances to get some damage done, but there's big damage already from these rifles. And that'll be the round. Quick one's a good one. As Venom gets one step closer to the half. And one round closer to a W, although there's still plenty of Counter-Strike to be played here.
Yeah,
After the guns.
Lovely round of design there from Venom as well. Just dealing with the anti-eco. They wanted to fight heavy mid. It's good to see that the team are all on the same page. CT side Dust2 is one where you can just make so many team-based pack plays. Where you can be aggressive. You can, you know, force the T's to be uncomfortable, slower on that sort of protocol mid-util. And if you win fights on extremities, it's going to make your life easier. HFA already finding the kill on Roman, player we weren't expecting to see in the server today.
Ooh, and that slow peek through double doors is going to be easy for the first for Klotsu, but do they expect the aggression from Sobol already here on the B ramp? Leaving the B side open, but that incent might buy some extra time, forces Soalio out towards big box already. and he will be able to dominate the B side of the map. Man advantage for the retake here for Venom, but that bomb still needs to be planted, so there's time for the rotation to come across.
There's just a total lack of movement here from Venom. They're not convinced that this is going to be a finish on B, given how quickly Sovalio sprung into action, expecting there to be more of a delay, but that bomb is down, and with the man advantage and a fair amount of utility lying on the corpses of the bodies in middle, this should be a concerted effort for this retake. But they're being still quite slow about their approach.
Innocent just trying to make as much noise as possible. HE towards the car side. Lots of footsteps made towards the window, and that's fully cleared out now. Sovalio in a great position to try and make this one work, but Flay, the coverage onto the swing from Big Box, gives them some time, but that time has gone too far away, and there is no chance to keep on playing here. Flay left that way too long as they couldn't find the package. A 2v3 coming through from Nemiga, punishing Venom for that slow rotate across to B.
Yeah, and they just weren't sure whether Sovalio had the bomb by himself. They were still concerned about a lurker. They knew that there was some presence out towards long earlier, and so they were expecting that someone was going to be siphoning rotates, and so they spent so long clearing out middle and hovering about, discussing their utility, that they just run out of time. There was, I think, a lack of urgency there from Venom, not realizing they'd missed that secondary man.
Whoa, Sobol. Not going to miss any man this time. Unless he can't see a thing. Flash denies him a chance at that second pick. But with Flay falling already, it's still back to this 4v4. And short control is just there for the taking. Did Nemiga go through? We've got Leah with the flash who wants to...
Hey, what is this?
Yeah, wait, what?
Why? Why has he done that? He's walked through the B tunnel smoke right into Sovalio. And that's a man advantage now for Nemiga.
That was a choice. One that Venom may come back to regret. HFAR looking to control short, and that's going to be the ball on the ground. He's now interested in retaking the package before making their way elsewhere. And Innocent still here with a flash and a chance at locking things down. But they're going to give it up, realizing that, you know, Long has some potential danger there. They don't have info on all of the Nemiga individuals. So bomb will be retrieved. And in the meanwhile... yeah, Nemiga cautious with the short push, but they're going to commit.
A bit of noise made towards short. They'll have heard that dropped gun, and so one will at least taper back. Keep an eye on that cross, but it's a slow crawl out for Nemiga. While there's a push through that longhouse just to reflank into short. Venom have given up a lot of ground here. I'm not really sure if this is going to work out for them. This 3-on-3, they'll expect that there's some flank towards short in some capacity, whether it's through Xbox or up the catwalk, and so it's a man advantage. Innocent walked into that AWP, so HFA has to be the one that makes the move. It's a slow rotate from Sobol, but he has the AWP as well. There's a lot of justification to save, but he's dealt with Xanter hunting for an extra duel. And so this 2-on-2 can now play out. A flash that should provide more room here for HFA, but he's not crossing. He's not bridging into that bomb site. And they just needed that extra pick. HFA now recognized on ramp, even with the kit. Even with them playing potentially 2 on short, they can simply swing and pivot off each other. And so Nemiga will pull through and survive on 2. A third round. Venom, a very, very curious set of choices. That's almost made up for the fact they find that bomb on short, but then once they give up so much room back, Nemiga have open runway to a plant and after plants.
Yeah, it's a interesting choice. I think that round almost defines, you know, outplaying yourself. Innocent with that long flank around, back to short, and the full split up from those CTs just, you know, made it way too many isolated fights that this time Venom was unable to win. Multiple curious choices made in that round, resulting in Nemiga winning, who just played as a pack.
Too many layers, I think.
Yeah. Good way to put it. All right, looking like
a little bit of complexity.
Set up for a bit of mid pressure. You know, Melita short. I'm going to eventually make its way back to the pack. But it feels like Nemiga is starting to figure out the CTs, and Sobol spotted on the jiggle. Lovely shot out of Roman to crack open the B site.
Yeah, the util might not be so pretty, but the shots be looking good.
I like what Venom are trying to set up on the B site as well. You've still got Klotsu tucked in the corner. But with the progression smoke and now that pick towards short, Venom, they aren't convinced by too much here. Innocent already boosted on that double stack in CT means it should be easy pickings for him to at least get one if it is a mid-B split. But Klotsu going to be under fire very shortly if they just decide to go through upper dark instead.
Could catch risky. There's a flank from long, and there's a bit of trigger discipline. Yeah, H5 finally striking, and so these B players have to get a move on. That support is coming via CT. Klotsu gets his first, and while he does go traded, there's that presence from Door. Innocent arriving on time. With 15 seconds left, and that bomb's still not down. There'll be an urgency here from Xanter. He'll have to tap, and Flay will simply run him down with the AWP. 5th round here for Venom. They get that counteraction on long at the right moment.
Yeah, beautiful hold. Good couple of picks and instant rotation out of Innocent to help the B-site player. Makes it look that much easier. Klotsu taking one. And Flay to close is a good way for this one to set it up in a 5v3 or 5-2-3 scoreline. Nemiga now, no plant means not a lot else to play with. They do have some util. They got some Tech 9s. And we have seen them win around like this already. So with the long spawns, they're going right on out. Flay missed opportunity for the pick. But that smoke allows them to take full long control, but no more.
I also like to clarify that this is very unlikely to be, when I think about Roman, I think about the Portuguese Roman that played with Soul. This is not that Roman. This is Belarusian Roman, as far as I'm aware. Just in case there would have been any confusion for viewers at home. One that played with Fluffy Gangsters and Nemiga once upon a time in 2017. Risky, lovely kill over at long. Not expecting too much out of this Nemiga round, all things considered. All that util that's down, the weaponry, it's a great kill from Klotsu that should actually prevent this from spiraling out of control. Just that extra long pressure. You can see Nemiga have nowhere to hide in this after plant.
Ooh, going in, looking for the fight into CT. Roman is going to be able to take CT control, but that's not a good place to be when the bomb is not planted for you at all. Easy retakes, trades coming through, and that'll be a 6th for Venom. But yeah, just had a look as well. Roman, of course, a 36-year young star. So we'll see if he's still got it. So far, he's had some moments. But it feels like being called in as a bit of a last-minute situation, that always is not going to go well.
Sure, yeah. I mean, at least his first name actually is Roman, though. Unlike that Portuguese fraud, Ricardo. He went with his first name, and I can only respect that. So, honestly, banger alias from both of them. I think about the Roman Empire all the time.
Don't we all? All right, change up again with the pistols. Looks like Nemiga may just go for a full commitment at B after they bleed out some util. Just clearing out lower. Realizing, Venom, they don't have a lot of mid presence in the early round. Of course, just making noise towards long. You'd assume that there's going to be 3 players invested there. And for the most part, we have seen heavy B-site defense with a 2-man setup. But short now looking to be the place where the pressure will be put, and Flay is going to be Mr. on the line.
I just have to keep on digging. He's currently the analyst for Nemiga at the moment. Not Soma, the current sort of stand-in coach to fill in the gaps. They decided the analyst would be a better fit. Listen, let's not pretend like Nemiga should have too much going on here. Flay is just picking him apart with this ult, but he doesn't actually get every single kill, and there's not much help coming out from Innocent, so hang on a second, wait. I wasn't expecting Nemiga to get a plant, let alone an AWP on that bomb site as well that they can play this post-plant with.
Yeah, risky Bob. picking up what could be the difference maker, although it has been sent back to the ground. Xanta with the dig, can't hit the head, and Sobol taking another name. So the Rifling Corps doing it on the retake for Venom. Bomb plant definitely going to help Nemiga in the future with a bit of extra cash, but that's going to be more than the majority of the rounds here on the CT side for Venom. 7-3. It did get a little bit difficult, a little risky there once that AWP got retrieved, but hey, you'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I was seeing Flay hit some shots. I was thinking, oh, well, long players chilling, Innocent's holding the headshot angle. So long as Flay doesn't overswing, life will be good. But he got his 2, and he kind of didn't wait for Innocent to be that next point of contact, which is, I think, how most probably should play out that position. Up on default, you know, those angles are fairly drilled into the minds of Counter-Strike professionals. Anyone that's played a deathmatch on Dust 2 knows to stare at headshot. But it's all good.
Yeah. It's just such an awkward angle to fight from this little CT ramp area up towards short.
Yeah.
You never know if they're going to be close, going to be far, which line they're going to be holding. We'll see if they can get any form of map control. Short, the only real part of the map on offer right now for Nemiga. And that's exactly where they're going to go.
Juicy nade onto Lear, kind of chases him onto the short jump up. And Innocent is priming some of that extra util floating in spawn to counteract some presence onto short. So if Nemiga continue to make their intentions known via utility, there will be some utility that greets them. Crisscross smokes in middle. Provides a lot of uncertainty here for Venom. Even the blow on the smoke won't actually get a full picture as to what's happening on the mid control.
Innocent just has so much utility to play with. Oh, Lear, not quite spotted. Has crossed in between the boxes here at CT, and HFAR spotting one towards long now may reveal the intentions of Nemiga. In towards CT they go. Bomb going to be dropped in the meanwhile. And things getting awkward as all hell. Flay, just defensive utility to try and survive towards the long wall. Oh, and spots that shoulder. Here's the plant. And the retake going to be the answer. Lear taken out of the fray. And with how awkward it got, Venom, they will not drop the round. All 5 alive, keeping it clean, happy, just to give the site as long as they take it back.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, lovely shooting there from HFA. Caught them trying to be aggressive. They knew that they were tucked behind that smoke, just continuing to hold on to that long control. I love that Venom were so willing to actually concede the bomb site there. They still retained control of one of the attack avenues back in. There was no urgency. They had a significant man advantage. They still had quite a lot of util available as well.
Yeah.
So, not panicked. And, you know, the only way the round really goes completely pear-shaped there for Venom is if Lear gets more than 1 kill on his lurk, and he ended up empty-handed.
Same old thing for Nemiga. Not necessarily the best weapons, nor the best utility. But they will have a chance to take short if they want. This time, though, Nemiga, or Venom rather, actually a different approach. You got Flay jump peeking mid doors, caught off on a timing. And Lear will insta go for that smoke down. Sobol with another AWP of his own for showing that there is going to be increased defenses towards that B site. So Nemiga don't accelerate, they don't go too far forward, but they do have space at long, which Xanta might be taking in just a moment.
Oh, timing is perfect. He drops the bomb as well. Klotsu has caught them at the most inopportune time while HFA is suffocating them from the other side of short. So the 2 players that were closest that could have picked up that package are dealt with instantly. And while there's space being taken over on B, Xanter has to get his hands on this package and somehow get himself away. Swalio dead. So that B player dealt with. And it's only Xanter that can save the day.
Yeah.
A 1-on-3, and it's not likely.
Xanta just making sure that there was no danger on short before going what looks to be all in. Oh, shots right back, but cops way more than he gives. And the CT's going to beat him to the punch if he wants to go to B. Still eyes on mid. Innocent knows that he can get the info on this cross. And boom goes the dynamite. 9-3 will be the scoreline at the half.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. Feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh.
It's, an awkward one between everyone involved, including myself and Michael. But hey, good first half out of Venom. Let's see what we get in the second.
Yeah, I was really expecting it to be a closer game than this. You know, I wanted Nemiga to put up more of a fight. I've been kind of seeing them slowly figuring out their role difficulties, but none of that's really materialized here. They'll need a hell of a CT side, and Venom have just got so much stride to their step. Some good shooting so far within this map, and already some pace over towards long. Good counter util out from Nemiga, though, but the flashes are rampant here on this bomb site. Lear with 2 inside of the site, and just using that smoke as sanctuary. They totally disregard him, and it leaves Flay in a 1-on-5. But he's just shooting well, but not well enough to finish the clutch. Very, very needed pistol for Nemiga to start making their way here on this comeback.
Yeah, really needed to flip the narrative. Of course, not having the best first half, there was definitely moments that could have gone their way but didn't. And look, here on the CT side, if you take that pistol, it can completely set you up for a perfect half. But what are we going to get here? No bomb plant from Venom means that they shouldn't buy, but Flay's going to go against the grain and see what he can do with the scout. Mid push. Pure aggression straight away. Missed chance to chip away at the CTs. And there goes the main weapon. No extra tools other than the Glocks to get this one done. And Risky Bob will fall, but it's one casualty for another round. And Nemiga are straight into the next.
Yeah, Flay's going to be a little disappointed by that. I mean, bringing a scout into the round where they don't necessarily do anything to stop your angle. He gets 2 CTs that he sees running up middle, and he knew his teammates were ill-equipped. He had the best chance to find a headshot and make it really uncomfortable there for Nemiga. But in the absence of that, no problems on the anti-eco. Good tag on the cross, though, here from Flay this time over. Hitting them when he can't fully see them. Much more default approach here from Nemiga. We saw a lot of good early aggression, actually, from Venom at the start of their CT side. They had some good ideas in the early and mid-round. Not sure we're going to see as much mobility from the Nemiga members. Hard to feel like they're necessarily in the sort of best form to do it. Losing out on a lot of duels. They've been missing out on timings. They've been outmaneuvered largely this map.
We'll see if that changes,
static.
Though. Yeah, here in the second half. First chance for Venom to show what they can do here on the T side. There were moments where they definitely looked a bit lost on that CT side. But still managed to wrangle it back for the majority of the rounds. We got a Classico, a Vanguard smoke, as well as the progression. With Lear in a pretty solid position to deal with it. Tucked in the corner, won't be seen straight away. And Risky Bob just going to be drawing attention away with that spray in through the smoke. Still, Lear not even needed to activate. It's the perfect spot and he won't be cleared. Surely it's a clean one. There you have it. Finally gets a chance to see someone. But Risky Bob essentially doing it all.
Yeah, I mean, that was beautiful. I mean, the one thing that was going really well for Nemiga is that they actually weren't feeling enough pressure around the map to feel like they had to release a lot of the utility. Risky Bob, his timing was perfect coming away from long to support into the site. He had an incendiary, an HE, he was slowing them down significantly, and all of his util was super disruptive. And then he just combines that with some fantastic shooting as well, where, yeah, Lear was the contingency plan, but like you said, not that necessary. Yeah, nice robust setup and a good understanding and projection of where Venom were headed. Now here on the half-buy here for the Poles. I wonder if they might have some more success playing to a faster timing. Because it's looking like they might just want to go for a kind of a quick burst on this B-bomb site. I'll wait for the mid-smoke, and I imagine they'll try and just take the fight on the mid player. These 2 players in the upper tunnels are hovering around.
Incoming counter util. HE placement doesn't do as much as Roman would have liked. There you go, smokes a bit too much to deal with for Venom. They just decide not to go through and back to mid instead. If they can take down Lear, then maybe it'll work, and Innocent's here to do just that. Head taken off the opposing IGL's shoulders, and with short control, they'll take the A site, although the Tech-9, not necessarily the best tool to take this fight against Risky Bob, who is hitting his shots here in the second half.
Yeah, can't quite wrangle his spray to actually prevent them from the plant, but even in the 4-on-4, things can still get awkward. Risky taking the dink, and while they continue to fight out from long, these players from CT will need that extra room that the long players can provide. Finally, they scale up, and now they know that HFA's just left on his lurk into middle, and so they can just stick the defuse. So it gets a little awkward, but no problem sticking the landing here. 4 rounds straight now for Nemiga. The comeback is on. They're within touching distance. And I'd actually argue the way in which Venom are losing these rounds is probably more convincing than the way that Nemiga were on their T side. I thought Nemiga were getting caught by these aggressive timings, by plays that Venom were making. I'd say, Venom won that first half, but I think Venom are currently losing the second half. I wouldn't say Nemiga are doing anything too outrageous or too bombastic. But they're doing a great job of keeping conservative on their utility and playing good, solid setups.
Clearance. Not going to happen here on lower. And Savalio activates well enough. Ooh, can't get the smoke out in time, so the molly will take him down. And it ends up just being this 1-for-1. Attention obviously drawn towards short with that early boost. With short control there, Roman decides to fully give long. So we'll see if HFAR and the rest of Venom can activate here. If they contact out, maybe they can catch the A-site players from Nemiga and get themselves a whole lot of real estate for free. Yep, they're going to do just that. Group up, contact out. And now, after short has been slightly cleared, you'll see Nemiga put their attention back towards long.
Not being cleared by Lear. He cleared all of short, and so access for Risky on the rotate is going to be more available. Venom are on a timer. They need to scale quite quickly, and if they don't deal with Roman fast, then they could find themselves heavily restricted. There's extra reinforcements coming out from CT, but it's only Risky on that AWP. Xanter will join him, actually, and as Lear activates on that flank, Risky already striking from the front side as well. They're pincered from both sides, and they cannot get into the site so easily. Sobol needs to punch in that plant. He doesn't have the space or the time to do it. And so with 3 kills, this round will taper out. It's an 8th round here for Nemiga, but no survivors from that CT side.
Yeah, Venom able to take the kills, but not necessarily the rounds. And look, that was ambitious to go for that last kill. You die in that situation, you got $850 or, you know, 1K to play with. So Sobol showing that he's still very confident in his aim, confident in everything. It was just the time that was a factor. They just couldn't quite get that bomb onto side across the curb. Now they're going to be going out long with just Roman here to hold, who's blinded and won't be able to see a damn thing. Long control in the hands of Venom, and with the man advantage, surely this is the round that they've been looking for. Quick pace from Klotsu all the way up towards A-ramp. Flash though, blocking, and they'll be able to deal with the Gandalf member. Risky Bob out of the fray, and the numbers still strong for Venom, although the flames are going to deny them a plant for a moment.
I mean, this play was just so up-tempo that there's no way Nemiga were expecting it, considering the last few rounds have been so slow. Great HE onto the bomb site. Sobol gets his ears rung and will be dealt with by a flying Xanter, but he spammed right back through the smoke. So still that man advantage. They would have spotted Klotsu in at Goose, and so it's a hard clear out from Sawalio. Back to 2-on-2, and they're not hitting their shots on the cross to the site. High-low setup here for the CTs as they continue to try and pepper these Ts down. Eventually, Innocent will get his kill, and Flay will collect on another. It comes down so close, but Venom finally break past that string of rounds. They get their first on T side.
And get to the double digits, but still there was plenty of cash remaining for Nemiga. So they will be back on another buy again. Just trying to figure out where they want to put their resources. This is the probably more important round. If Venom win this one, then they should set themselves up for a 12th quite easily. Jumping across. And 2 spotted, going towards that B side of the map. Sobol in the meanwhile going very quick down mid. Maybe able to find himself some free real estate here on short because there's no CTs here to hold.
This would be the perfect time to strike in for that short play. It's been one of the few times that Nemiga actually haven't had an occupant. And that incendiary will keep Sobol back, so he may have missed his opportunity. He'd have been flying blind like a torpedo into this bomb site if he was to take that risk. It's a very late take to long control here for Venom. And even if Xanter is to fall, oh wait, no, Risky's coming over with that AWP as well.
Yeah. This Molly invested just to clear the close angles and maybe set them up for a shot, but the flash, no matter how good it was, Risky Bob already poised on the line, and that's going to be the bomb in their hands. So the CTs certainly in position to put a 9th on and hit right back to Venom. Sobol, he's been quiet on short for so long. But if he gets these lurkers, maybe he can make this work. But does he expect the second man? He spots him on the jump. And we'll go back towards the A site, but Lear's still here, making his way right up the elevator. And this will be donezo. 10 seconds, Innocent. Full priority on keeping the AWP alive to the next.
Yeah, I mean, they just get obliterated, and it's all just due to that one timing from Risky. If not for that, you know, attentions wouldn't have been drawn away from Xanter. Innocent, like you said, trying to save his AWP, but he doesn't even save his life past that round timer. And so it's $0 here for Innocent, no AWP, and a chance for Nemiga not only to tie things up, but push themselves into the lead afterwards.
That's like the worst case scenario for Venom.
Yeah.
Innocent decided to not go for that shot on the close individual. Went for the run and died as soon as that clock hit 0. That is the... Oh, yeah, that's a tactical taker. Just to try to figure out what the hell's going on from here. I think...
I mean, usually the guy that doesn't survive at the end of a round will have $300 or $200. It's very rare that someone is on flat 0 when they had so much to live for.
Straight up nothing, yeah. We'll get given the pity P250.
Yeah, he called that one. It's a part of the strategy that Innocent has come up with in this tactical. Because yeah, if they lose this, then it will be a tying round, and there should be really just open runway here for Nemiga to take the lead after they've been trailing so much in this game.
Yeah.
Came into this half with a 9-3 lead here for Venom, but Nemiga are chomping at the bit to take back control on their map pick.
Looks like it is going to be late mid pressure. Flash from Sobol to get that line on short, making sure there's no boosted AWP there. And Lear just going to drop an incendiary at mid. I think it's hit the wall. It had to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like,
didn't seem like that was doing much.
That's the choice.
It's a great HE though. So not all of his utils a complete miss. This is a gap, and they hear the steps of this player darting back and forth from CT.
Yeah. Just very cautious about Risky Bob's position. He fully shut down this strat last time. And now he's got his sniper online. All poised and ready to try to cut him off on the cross. And, ooh, will connect through the concrete and drop another Klotsu. Head taken off his shoulders. And the man advantage more than enough for Nemiga to happily posture for the retake.
Yeah, have to remain cautious of these players here on Nemiga, though. I mean, Roman is coming in at a very, very late timing towards the lower tunnels. And Innocent was supposed to protect their short. They never really took it with the manpower, and they'll be forced to now.
Creeping up. Still util to set up these long individuals, and Risky Bob going to be taking names time after time, although Flay can't do it for enough. Gets the first, but the trade game too damn strong. Risky Bob swapping to the rifle in the midst of the action and able to make the trade happen. We are all tied up on map 1 here, 10 apiece. Still anyone's game.
Yeah, doing a great job on this AWP is Risky Bob. I mean, the player that is absent here from Nemiga is their AWPer in Khan, and so somebody has to take that responsibility coming into this game. Sometimes it's the in-game leader, sometimes it's the stand-in. You know, with Roman being their analyst, not sure we would trust him on the big green, but Risky hitting some nice shots. He's not been missing out on his timings either in reinforcing his teammates' positions. He's doing a bang-up job, actually filling the Khan-sized hole in the roster. Roman, not so much, but when the team is operating so smoothly in these setups, you can feel pretty confident as an analyst at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be the breaking point, though, for Venom. They come in with a very awkward buy. And they've seen this whole half advantage deteriorate.
I think Venom is starting to switch on to this huge gap on short. Nemiga just, as you mentioned earlier, fully changing up the approach on the CT side. They were brawling more for mid, more for short earlier on, but now they've gone way more passive, and they are expecting a B hit with 3 individuals over there. Progression utility going to be thrown by Sobol just to try and slow down any rotation. And Klotsu, in the meanwhile, with the AK, still looking out at mid. The timing of the block smoke on short is great for Risky Bob. It means there won't be any more pins to take down just yet.
He's so close.
Hang on. Footsteps made, and there's the contact, but it's just that one individual. Savalio not going to be clearing anything out, and this time Risky Bob takes more than he gives. Flash across the top just to look for that long control, and again, they are just playing retake on A.
Yeah, once again, Roman will clear out those lower tunnels. There's no presence onto short, but this time there's actually more manpower here from the T's where they can quickly reinforce. It's only HFA that actually holds onto that Dominion while the long players continue to work. But there's not a lot of util here for Nemiga. They've had that in spades in previous retakes, and so these rifles could still be a total nuisance. Flash is more than enough. It blinds up Flay, and Xanter just running straight head first into this site and ripping heads as he does it. It will be a complete collapse. There will be no stop. There will be no hold. And finally, it will be a lead here for Nemiga.
Absolute domination on the CT side. Nemiga barely giving Venom a chance. And yes, that bomb plant will come through again, which means there's extra cash for this T side. But even when they have a full buy, it feels like Venom aren't able to fashion a round out of anything or even find the opening picks. Nemiga just seem to be one step ahead at every given point. And I guess, hey, maybe it has to do with, you know, when you have your analyst in the server with you, able to speak. That can make a world of difference. Him and Lear, that's a lot of knowledge, but maybe the firepower needs to be relied upon. Savalio going to be stuck here at the double stack and needs to buy time for the rotation in. Lear not too far away, and the spray transfer almost connecting. 3v3, and Lear peaks early. That'll be a good position for Venom to maybe find an 11th.
Yeah, it's only been these up-tempo plays that have been working so far. Oh, that play from Savalio, getting that secondary kill, like you said, it could have been a third, and that seems to have made all the difference. They get caught off by just the willing aggression here of Venom. They made it work on a fast long take. This time it's a quick approach to B. It'll break through their bad spells.
The save here also going to go a long way. Leave with only 2k in the bank and minimal round loss bonus. Risky Bob. Every kill is going to add a couple of bucks in the bank for everyone. And if you want to keep the AWP alive, if things keep going wrong here.
Oh my god, he actually killed Flay as well. He's killed Flay as well. He tagged him on the cross through mid, and then he died to the bomb.
You hate to see it. If you're watching as a Venom fan, it makes things that much harder. What's that? 1 alive on the round win. There's still not the best buy for you to play with here. Flay, he's got the AK and a good amount left in the back pocket, but Klotsu going to be taking a hit here. Down to a Galil just to get the util on board. And we've got a tactical coming through from Nemiga, but if you have a look at the spawns here for Venom, Innocent has best long spawn. Is he going to put the team on his back and go for the full commit?
I believe he is. I mean, I was about to question why Innocent hasn't actually bought into a Galil and extra util, but if his option is, I've got the best long spawn, I can take a fight,
yeah,
then an AK and just a flash is actually kind of what you want.
Later the spawns. Oh, and Roman going to be caught out in the open, but the flash is not good enough for the T's. Roman, the analyst, the super sub coming through with a 2-piece and fully locks down long. And that's the issue, right? If you go out and you are fully blinded as a T and you don't shoot back, that one thing that you invested everything in looks like this, a 2v5 to try to save the game.
Hard to blame them for wanting to continue that high tempo gameplay, considering that's what's been working so far, but Yeah, not expecting Roman to double up like that. Flay trying his best, but spam through the smoke. That's the bomb inside of CT spawn. If there was any situation that could be more dire, the bomb and spawn is hardly going to help. 1-on-5 here for HFA. He'd be lucky to hold on to his rifle, but given the extra money that's available, expect them to hunt. The dink onto HFA through the door. And so they now know his position. It's being triangulated and plugged into the GPS. They will hunt.
Really going on the path of least resistance, and oh, that's not what you want to see when you're swinging back towards top mid. 3 CTs staring straight down the barrel. And Nemiga have one chance to close out the map, which is their map choice. It didn't really look like it in the first half, but Venom falling short here in the second. After a pretty damn good CT side themselves. A chance at overtime if things go right. And they do have these long spawns again, but won't commit from them. And you can see that Nemiga aware that they probably won't want to go to long after what happened in the prior round. So they go for the 2-1-2 split just to feel out the round.
It's a very conservative approach. These are the type of rounds that have just not been working out. These late hits on bomb sites, the slow map control. Nemiga have had pretty solid reads and have either been taking space or been taking some extra liberties where they can. Not been the most aggressive here on the CT side, but they've been conservative enough with their utility a lot that any of these late hits have always been met with heavy resistance. All these precursors, the flashes, the Molotovs, it paints a clearer picture for Nemiga.
Yeah. And they'll put themselves in a better position to try and lock down this short plate. Risky Bob. Very impressive CT side, especially here on the A side. Many moments, he just knows exactly when to fight, when to fall off, and he's going to be doing the fall off this time. Back towards the corner. It was Innocent trying to go for the drop, trying to go for the miscellaneous mid-B approach, the more aggressive one, but straight into the grinder they go. A flawless way to finish, 13-11. What a half out of Nemiga to put Dust2 in the bag.
Yeah, and I'll say it again. I'd say the first half from Venom was quite nice. I think there were good proactive moves. They were really, really solid throughout. But I would say Nemiga were far more impressive in their CT side and just winning off of solid placement.
Winning it the last, 6 times that they've played it. So, they're going to be coming into this with a huge amount of confidence. But Nemiga, they've taken out another couple of individuals. Nine, Sangal. Who else have they taken out lately? Slabashok. And yeah, it's looking like they have a good idea of how this one operates. So we'll see what ends up happening. But it is time to jump on in. Time to get into the pistol here, and we will see who takes it.
Oh, okay. Jumping straight into that CT side, I've seen Lear with the dualies and a flash. Distribution of the nades amongst the Nemiga members, as we'll hope to see what they have on that CT side and whether or not Venom can crack it, because they were struggling on Dust2 on that offense. Lear already clearing out the B holes, but it's a fast play into Ivy instead. Khan actually getting the smoke down. He's back in while there was previously Roman. Now Khan comes and takes his place. So that old discussion I was having before, no longer necessary. They even shut out that Ivy presence. There's 3 CTs there and players are getting spammed through smokes. They're getting run down. It is hectic here for Venom. They cannot quite wrangle a single kill. Complete sweep. Nemiga, take the pistol.
It just fully felt like that was by design. Nemiga knew exactly what Venom were going to do with this pop through Ivy. Smoke was there just to deny vision, straight into the hard crossfire. And A-main control, a bit too much for them to deal with. So Nemiga came into this one with a plan. And this second round should be even easier than the first, given the lack of a buy, the lack of a plant from Venom.
It's good to see that Khan is back with us, though. From the Roman Empire to Genghis Khan, Nemiga have their pick of the litter.
Ooh, good flash. Gives Lear a nice amount of space to slide his way into pop and set up the crossfire with his MP9s. That's a lot of money potential from these kill rewards, and there it is. Easy picks of the first two. Third going to be found. Bait and switch, and a third member comes into the party as well, who isn't even needed. So positionally, perfect to deal with the B-pop. And Nemiga, they'll be laughing with money just spilling out of their pockets.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've doubled their money. You know, if you go in with any other weapon there aside from an SMG or maybe, you know, bar or shotgun, you're getting half the amount of cash from the kill rewards. So 3,000 rather in their back pockets alongside the bonus for the round win. Like you said, laughing their way to the bank. They'll have to make use of those weapons against the full buy hero Venom, who are going to be just as pacey in the play towards the brown hole. Sobol taking a nade straight to the face. But they do achieve control.
Ooh, awkward peek there from Khan, but still gets untouched. Flash across the top. We'll still have the full confidence to go for the swing, but the Famis not as confident to go for this fight. Lear playing right behind the flames. It's good enough cover to take down Klotsu, but do they expect the second man? Flay may have been heard, but he has not been seen, and he has been able to slide in behind enemy lines all the way to Old Bomb. Innocent drawing attention on the front side, which allows Flay to activate on the back, and they're just trying to figure out exactly where all these individuals are. Savalio still here at Hell, but the bomb has been left at Ivy, which could
weird
be
spot.
the problem.
It's a big issue because they're going to have to stall on this site and wait for that bomb to be recovered. And it gives a lot more chances for Nemiga to find a clawback kill. And this could be the one. No, but Flay just on the money. And while he hears this player running into Ivy, that bomb could get dropped, but missed chance. Wait, HFA went back for the fight. And so Flay has to redeem what could have otherwise turned into an awkward situation. He gets it right under wraps. 4 kills for Flay in the first gun round.
Yeah, you'll take it. You'll take it. HFAR, feeling it. Thought that it was a better idea to go for the fight, but he knew that Flay was there to trade him regardless. 1 T-side around on the first gun round. If they win this, it should be a few more to follow. But of course, that was just that bonus. You saw the Famises, the MP9s, you know, a bunch of lackluster weaponry in the mix there for Nemiga, but this time going for the firepower over the top of utility, not bringing in a whole lot. Molly's HEs just to try and deny Risky Bob that pop control, which is going to be found by Sobol. And now they can posture to potentially retake yard.
Already loving what I'm seeing from both teams so far. I mean, this is a comfort first pick for both of them. So the util exchanges are top-notch. They're so oppressive on either side, limiting options. While the damage is good into main, or at least lands a dink, it's not quite as much as you would expect. Kind of conscious of plays close, but kind of an awkward angle with that AWP.
Yeah. Definitely not one you'd expect. So he'll happily hit that and fall back off. Boost across the top as Klotsu just barely can't see Risky Bob there at Olaf. Has he seen him? Yep, okay. On the smoke fade. That with the HE will chunk down Risky Bob. And smoke off Hell as well, just to try to fully isolate him, who's got no helping hands within the vicinity. But there is going to be a reaggression. Xanta looking to make his way towards E-Box, aware that Pop is dirty and that the pump is starting to come out from main. Swing from the back of red. Klotsu could be dead in just a moment, but no. Peak's advantage looking good this time, and Khan won't be able to sneak his way away back towards Con. Just Lear versus the world here, and you dare say he's just going to save the AK.
Yeah, I mean, a solid opening kill from Khan, and then suddenly the whole A bomb site unravels, and it's partially due to Xanter playing close to that smoke, but it's kind of an imperfect smoke. The boost is actually a good idea to catch an opportunity, and it, I think, does kind of topple Nemiga's setup, because everyone's sort of caught in transition. They're trying to readjust, but then Venom accelerates. Catch them in suboptimal positions, so Lear would be lucky to hold on to this AK. Let's be careful a little bit of the bomb radius, but shouldn't have any issues carrying that weapon forward.
Terrorists win.
Yeah, he's found his place. Nice and sneaky there. Smaller explosion damage on that radius here on Train, as opposed to some of the other maps. So he is able just to save close towards Connector. And I think, look, the idea was he was hanging around there to try and get the AWP after time, but Flay let him know that he took that at con earlier. And with the front spawn, let's see what Sobol opts to do here. Is he going to get aggro? Nah, over to halls. There's a few members going this direction, so pop control could be on the agenda. Molly nade combo to deny aggression from Xanta. But it's A that they might have to worry about. Look at this, Khan already in a great position to get information with a 3-man CT push. They can get on the flank quickly if the B site players don't pop.
Yeah, I have to expect that they accelerate soon. I mean, they know they have absolutely no control on that A-bomb site. Even with Nemiga probing into deep A main, you'd expect they'd be fleet-footed, that reinforcements is coming, and the cavalry is shortly on its way.
Yeah.
It should arrive on time.
Beat that Molly. Sobol able to take the first line of defense, which has sort of been staggered by that connector Molly. You two getting dumped everywhere. They know that they've got the range advantage, except for Lear, who saved the AK and is looking to save it again just with that pick. Good damage onto a few of the T's, but it's not enough. And a third should be secured, as well as the lead here for Venom.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that there was just a lack of real urgency there from Nemiga. I swear I was looking at that mini-map and dots were not moving quite quick enough.
Yeah, they kind of got to connector in time, but then just didn't flood the site. They realized as soon as whoever it was, Xanta, I believe, towards lower ramp fell, then it was all sort of gonna go a little bit more wrong.
Maybe just worried about someone posted into con from heaven and wanted the extra player so that Lear didn't swing out and die with the AK.
Yeah.
But had they got it with the proper urgency, maybe that extra stopping power could have saved the day. It was very unlikely. Venom had all the manpower and resources. That the problem with Train is that, you know, if you don't read ahead of the player, you aren't aggressive or don't get any early information, it can be so hard to beat the util on the exec. Especially on that B-bomb site. I mean, the A site is typically flooded with players, and there's so many angles you can play that you can be in front, behind, smokes, you have HEs to blow them.
Yeah.
You have a lot more options, but on B, you kind of have to just take duels and hope that your util timings are on the money.
Let's see what the tactical provides. And if Nemiga can try to turn this one around. If they lose here, look, 4 already on the T side, and the confidence, the momentum for Venom can definitely get out of hand. Especially when you got Flay feeling it. He's been doing really well to crack open these sites and lock down a couple of the rounds that they've found so far. 2-3 split for Nemiga. A real change. They're going towards the top of red just to lock down main, but Khan, aggression from upper, even through the T-smoke, is only going to get him one. Sobol close enough already to answer back. And Zavalio looking to dominate Ivy. Smoke going to get cracked open. Zavalio realizing the danger that could be at hand, so we'll just shoot a couple of warning shots and then fall back off. Double set up towards heaven, even though they've already had a player there. Fully invested in trying to find Sobol, and they just don't quite know where Flay was. Sobol falling, Flay 1v4. I don't know about this one, Chief. Ooh, tagged across, repeak. He's feeling it.
Yeah, he's still trying for this. And, you know, I'd say his rifling has definitely been the thing that has been carrying his scoreline so far. It's all yet to find a victim, and it will continue to be empty-handed. A really nice round from Nemiga, not only finding that opening kill via Khan, even if he does kind of hang around, like he got his kill and he definitely could have slunk back into the smoke quicker. But Somalia also getting timing on the spam, that 2-man Ivy play that Venom have been using in a couple of rounds now. He comes away with one of those kills.
Yeah.
A good blocking smoke. That's kind of nothing else falling in the way of Venom at all.
Oh, Nemiga. Some confidence after that round win. Good damage onto HVAR. Double nade straight towards main. Just polishes him off before he gets a chance to play the game. And with a man disadvantage and no map control to play with, looks like Venom are just going to slowly group up over towards B halls and again go for the B pop.
It's the first time it feels like Venom have actually tried to capitalize on a player playing close to main, and they were really hoping that he could activate as a lurker with everybody starting towards the white and brown holes. It was postured to be a B-site attack, but they wanted to have some kind of stalling element on that A bomb site.
Yeah.
So it's a 3-2 split for the CTs, where neither of the CTs actually have anything to block or stall, and there's no fast rotate to con.
Deep utility, molly at con, but a turtled up approach on site. Can they find the second man? Xanta, not a lot of cover to play with here and will get traded. So a chance now for Venom as they bring the man advantage back. Somewhat HE placement looked good, but Klotsu very lucky to be alive, tucked in the corner. Double upper setup. And Innocent as well, just holding on to pop control, or at least clearing out the brown holes. Waiting for the timing. As Risky Bob waits for the others to activate first before taking his moment, and he'll strike. Little crouch peek under the crosshair. Innocent just not quite reacting. Klotsu finding another. And the double upper setup not going to be dealt with as they go through lower instead. Risky Bob going to be able to take one more name, and it's an AWP on AWP action. Flay hoping that he can bait that first pick out and gets him off the bomb. It's a fourth for Venom as everybody dies, except for Mr. Bob.
Yeah, I mean, he was so late to activate on that flank. In a way, I'm surprised that Innocent actually moves away from his spot, but his teammates clearly didn't feel comfortable. They're both doubled heaven. They don't have any foothold on the bomb site, and so, you know, even with Risky activating so late, they get into a position where they actually can pull off the round, but Risky has to fully trust that Khan is going to hit the shot, and then he missed, but Risky got off the defuse before Khan missed, so it seemed like things are a little bit hectic there for Nemiga. Maybe not keeping a close enough eye on that clock, or playing just a little too slow, given how they found themselves in that 3-on-3, and had they played a bit quicker, there maybe could have been a better chance. But Nemiga had money to play with, so they come in with a full investment. Xanta the only one shortchanged on that MP9, but he does have a full belt of utility that if they get any inkling that this is going to be another B-side hit, he can stop them.
Oh, flashes. Way too good. Xanta unable to see a thing, and Klotsu makes so much space on site, but running straight down Speedway allows Lear to get a couple of picks and might just have saved the day. We see Nemiga go for the retake, bomb planted default.
Khan may have to hope he gets a pick, because I don't think anyone else is going to get much of a chance. Risky Molotov'd off, and Sawalio is deep within CT. That's the chance there for Khan, but it's a miss on the cross to the site. And while they get info on one, they have lost track of others. Flay taking a dig through that smoke. H for will strike to find that kill, and Khan taken out from heaven. So Sawalio trying his best to hold onto this rifle or do more damage on his exit, but both will be denied. There'll be a 5th round here for Venom, but I have only really one question, is why on earth does Xanta have a full belt of util as the primary anchor to ramp, and he's full flashed, no thought to pull out a nade at all? Like, this is the thing with B-side anchors on train. You have to be elusive. You have to use every resource you can to keep yourself alive. That was almost the antithesis of that. He ate the flash, he stayed, and he just hoped that he could regain vision enough to see ramp. It's really confusing, because his teammate definitely didn't have the same resources he did, and now he goes hunting, or rather Risky goes hunting into the upper holes. He'll lose his life really, really quick. This is a much more conservative round from Venom. You see it, they're holding deep Ivy.
Yeah.
They're holding brown holes really far back.
They're holding brown hole, the boost for the broken wall in brown holes. Like,
yeah.
They know exactly what's coming. Oh, if Innocent falls here, if the timing doesn't favor him, there might be a chance. Although Mac 10 spots him, and Sawalio, yeah, just going to smoke himself off. Give a bit of respect to the T's. And the awkward situation gets much less awkward as Sobol's about to search on that B site. But the bomb's here on A. And that's the only thing keeping me guessing right now is can Xanta on the back of site with the Deagle save the day? Big Deag, Sobol, already crept up all the way through B, through Con, and there you go. Site cleared out, and it should be steady sailing from here.
Well, there was a timing there for Lear, but making his steps, they turn about and face, so no chance to get some extra damage. So yeah, this is a full save. If they'll even be allowed it. He's running away. Khan, a couple of chances for kills. Does get one on his MP9. And that means there's a rifle that's inside of connector, and he's hoping that he could get his hands on it, and, well, there's one at the very least. And he's chosen the right exit path, too, so this should be a saved AK. Extra money into the back pockets of all the CTs as well, an extra 150 each. And all that kill bonus on top. There can even drop an AWP if he's feeling so generous.
He's fragging though. Doing a great job of, you know, getting at least the exit kills. Activating when he needs to. 12 and 3 for him. But it's the others that need to lift here. Obviously, you know, Khan's got his excuse of being a little bit sick, so probably not feeling the best. But again, Venom just able to find plentiful openings here on the T side. And Nemiga looking more lost now as to how to win these CT rounds. Well, like that. No one there to cop the HEs, but double stack towards the brown horse.
Yeah, very cute idea. Had it just been a slower default descending those steps, it would have been in for a nasty surprise. One that they would have hoped would come away with an advantage somehow. But even then, 2 spot-on nades. Hard to say that you are guaranteed a kill from that. So any presence towards those upper holes will be unconfirmed. It's a very static approach here from Nemiga. Flay very defensive. Again, they're expecting Nemiga to try and take matters into their own hands somehow. Because they've been losing on these site defenses as of late. B has been a weakness, so I mean, given the presence still in towards those brown holes, they're trying to fake this B bomb site while bursting into A instead.
And Lear, the point man,
right through it.
The heavy hitter just completely denying that being a fake and getting all the troops back towards A as fast as they possibly can. Khan going to activate and at least lock down E-Box side, but the Raps coming through here. It's Sandwich and HFAR taking a couple of names with him. Lear needs to do it all himself here. 3 more to find. Bomb gets planted in the meanwhile. He knows HFAR's on the train, but he's dropped out and it's awkward. Flay at Olaf. Doesn't want to reveal his position, but it's all going to boil down to the timing. Jump up on the ladder, spots it, but it's back lower he goes, and it's just a long old game. Lear just now playing the clock. And Flay hoping that he doesn't go for the stick, and AWP is not the tool you want for the job. As the tap comes in, connection not there, and he thinks he might have got off it, but he cannot find him. Oh, and he hasn't gone for the swing. Lear wins it in the clutch, 1v3. And a 4th on the board for Nemiga.
Lear's alone. I will say, I think Lear might be alone on the CT side because he not only completely susses out this fake on B, his A players get a heads up before the hit out through main, and everybody falls, only for him to be tasked with a 1v3 that he somehow pulls off like Houdini. He's got the brains, the brawn, but he needs a few of his best friends to show up as well.
Sometimes things aren't easy to do alone. And Lear is pleading to the rest of the boys, please guys, I've got the opening for us. What more can I do? So much site pressure here towards A. They've got con control. The package even deciding not to commit because they know that there's danger towards Pop, but Khan ready for that con wrap, ready for a weird late B split take sort of deal, flash in. HFAR had no idea that was coming. And things get ever so difficult for the rest of Venom. Flay's going to be able to cut Khan off, but Innocent knows that he wants to try to equalize here. Flay falling and Innocent dealing with the wrap means B-site is open for the taking. He's got a smoke, a flash, and a chance to plant.
Yeah, plant might be all he gets, really. I mean, he's punching in those digits, and he's well aware that he could be restricted from both sides. It's an open plant. He doesn't have the health to play with, and so it will just be the plant and nothing further. But that is more like it there from Nemiga. Good a bit of initiative there from Lear. It's coordinated in at B. And even with Venom taking space on that A bomb site once they get a confirmation on numbers, good adjustment. You know, Khan is watching for that con peek into that B bomb site. The flash play is perfect. That's the synergy that we had on Dust 2 that just has been absent so far on this train so far.
But who knows? We mostly wrote off Nemiga in that first half of Dust, right? And then they won the pistol. They completely changed the whole way that the game was flowing. And they might just do it on the T side as well. Hey, it's worked for Venom. You know, they looked very solid in terms of their structure here on the T side.
Yeah.
There's also been a few moments where they look like they could certainly be doing more. And we'll see if the second half is going to be reminiscent of that Dust game. Risky Bob taking point here with the AK. And taking names off the back of it. Full Brown Horse control. And the A-site pop comes through. Clock 2 with a Tech 9. Just trying to open things up. And won't get the damage that HFAR could follow through with. 2v4. And a chance again with Flay and Innocent to try to make this one happen. But it's Innocent again. 1v3. Not known for his AWPing prowess. And with the bomb down at E-Box, it's an insurmountable clutch for him.
Yeah, I mean, incredibly difficult to piece together. He just does. I mean, he has space to move around, but with how exposed that bomb is, the options for CTs are also near limitless.
Yeah.
So he'd be lucky to get a couple of kills at the very best, but won't even get that. Risky takes his head clean off. It's a 6-6 half, a dominant looking middle portion there for Venom as they abuse the bomb sites, but Lear may be the rallying call that Nemiga need to take the lead in that second half. We'll see how it goes after the break.
It was a interesting affair in the first half, but we end it all evened up as Nemiga took a little while to find their feet after bringing Khan back in for map number 2. But hey, let's see what they end up getting into on the T side.
Yeah, I was really expecting more out of Khan. Instead, I got all of it out of Lear instead. 17-6 is the in-game leader of Nemiga. Doing a damn good job.
Let's see if he can keep it up, or if he even needs to. And what kind of inspiring words he had for the troops through the half. Of course, Venom having their moments as well, but a CT pistol will definitely set them up for some confidence to move towards Ancient, which will be that third map if it is needed. Risky Bob, in the meanwhile, has snuck his way out towards Red. With a late camera smoke and a late couple of flashes, HFAR going to be caught right out in the open, and that's going to be the deal sealer on his life. Sobol trying to cut him off at the pass. Will find a single name, but fall back into Con. So there's space to plant now for Nemiga, but things awkward as they're just trying to get all the info.
Bomb has been planted.
Need these kills fast. I mean, they don't have a kit available, and Risky just continuing to take duels. Innocent finally finding the trade. With Lear set behind New Box, actually had a great chance to cut off both, but now these post plants are going to feel somewhat compromised. Con is accessed, but the back of E-Box is exposed, and so Xanter gets flooded, and Khan just cannot wrangle an extra frag. Suddenly, Venom are right back into the swing of things. They take that pistol round. Some great shooting between Flay and Sobol, but Innocent's the one that strikes it off and keeps that pressure on. That should not have been losable. It really didn't feel like it was going to be losable, and then they just lose track completely of all these CTs.
Felt like, yeah, there was just some kind of awkwardness, maybe in the communication, maybe in the relay of information, or it could have just been the overfacing, right? Lear knew that he was tucked away in that New Box corner, but felt the need to fight, especially after Risky Bob fell. And then they just had no idea that Sobol went for the full rotation from Con back towards late pop. But
God, they're just trying to run through the main smoke now as well, and they get spammed on the first, and they'll take down the second. Soalio a trade, but Khan's finding kills alongside Soalio, but to no avail. Khan's got his hands on a Galil, but he'll get spammed all the same. So it is a shutdown. Running through that smoke doesn't work out for Nemiga.
back to the Deagles. Maybe not the best way to do it, but the full pop out main through a smoke into many individuals looking at you may not be the best way to do it sometimes. Even though those flashes allowed the entry work on A in the prior round, you just didn't have the firepower to do it.
You know what's such a shame about that pistol as well is it was so unique in that they had 3 P250s on a T side. You know, someone has dropped 3 P250s with flashes. They were willing to take fights. They had a good util. There was so much that was kind of cool about that pistol for Nemiga, and then, you know, positionally, I think just misplayed or getting outplayed really by Venom. Does overshadow it, but maybe the Deagle can rectify some bad choices. It's a lovely shot from Xanter.
Ooh, crosshair on the right spot there, but Lear missed shot. He gets a few more sent back his direction. Xanter hoping he can hit another Juan Dig, and Innocent making noise towards lower. Yeah, brought it back eventually to find Khan popping out the smoke. And with the bomb down there at B, there will be rotations coming through eventually. Klotsu, eyes on upper. Innocent will be controlling lower. And in the meanwhile, they're just trying to figure out what is going on with Soalio, or where he could potentially be. Xanter, there is a well, but he could hit a nasty old 1D here again. Ooh, caught some timing. That won't quite take it. Just posted on the line. And a missed headshot in that direction. Innocent going to be hunting him down surely, slowly, and eventually. And HFAR is here as well. They've fully cleared out the halls. And there's that pick. Hang on. With that pick and Soalio coming in on the flank, there's 10 seconds to win it. But they still just don't have a read until he's made the noise and puts himself right out on an island. 6-9. Venom coming straight back into the action here in the second half.
Yeah, probably the best thing there for Sawalio was that he did die. He did take a long time, though. It's not as though Xanter didn't buy him enough opportunity or space. So nice shooting from Xanter for at least some damage onto that CT economy, which does put them in a position where, you know, if Nemiga get this gun round under their belt, the next buy from Venom won't be with all the bells and whistles. They can take advantage of that as well.
Plenty of util. Just dump towards the halls. Sobol, defensive HE, won't connect onto anyone. Oh, I like that. Pop flash. Or pop dog.
Yeah.
No one going off the back of it. Hang on.
Looked at his initial crosshair placement, and Risky Bob was actually surprisingly on the money with his timing.
Yeah.
But then he moved, so... Seen that become very in vogue with Train.
Yeah.
People are trying to out-nerd each other with how many spams they know and whether they can find kills from it.
It goes to show that, you know, both these teams do have a high level of knowledge about the map itself. It's just kind of like how the pieces are coming together.
Yeah. We've had some great nade sets in general.
Again, look at that. 40-second resmoke on main. Kind of limiting the angles at which Nemiga can attack the A site. And there's going to be 4 CTs here to get past if they end up coming back. Bomb needs to be retrieved, and it's just about where Sawalio takes it. And it's back to main they go. A site going to be the target. In's the swing, and the opening's there. But Innocent straight on the trade game. Forced back to Con by the flash. As Lear looking to lead the charge, but won't be able to clear out Sobol. They know there's going to be at least 2 towards that Con area, and Risky Bob is going to do a lot of work to crack open the site, but they need to find Flay.
Bomb has been planted.
Con control and plant for it. With Flay trying to stay sneaky, but he might have outplayed himself. Allowing Sawalio a chance to tuck in at Hell. And Risky Bob. The one to try and find the information. A chance for Sawalio to flick on it, and the trade needed. As Risky Bob was lucky to be alive. The flick not quite hitting the target, but Nemiga on the board for the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Flay really did try his hand at it. Just, if he hits that shot, it's a completely different story.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that exec did not look good for Nemiga. They got, a camera smoke down. They get one flash out, and it's just all guns blazing. Time's against them. They just recover the bomb at 28 seconds. By the time they get to main, about 22 seconds. So they didn't have a high margin for error. And just the choice to aggress into Con and plant Con side as well actually did make a world of a difference. They knew that nobody was going to be coming down Pop Dog particularly fast because they approached that A-bomb site 10 seconds ago from the same angle.
Yeah.
And they just did not have any control of Ivy whatsoever. So, I mean, that planting position actually may have been the real nail in the coffin there for Flay, and even then he gave himself a good chance to win it.
Risky Bob with the early HE towards New Box. Exploding slightly early. And a very important round for Venom to win. Utility wearing thin. And the economy in a position where you don't want to lose this. And that timing from the Flay peak could not have been better. He's looking to set up Innocent for some potential swingage on that MP9. But you don't really want to be peeking here. Can't. Poised with the AWP, won't reveal his hand. And we'll just back away, retrieve the package. And look for a different approach, which could come towards this upper peak. Let's see if Sobol gets caught off. Doesn't spot it.
But he was spotted.
I believe so. And
oh, yeah.
There you go. Lear getting that opening, drawing attention away back from A. That boost on Pop gets dealt with. Risky Bob may have opened up the A site, but the lineup is there for Flay to lock it down at B. But the bomb still making its way to A regardless. Innocent at the back of site needs to save the day.
Oh, and his feet are spotted. Of all things, he had himself tucked away. They didn't have a Molotov for his position. It has to be Flay with a full ace and the clutch to follow. And while Risky exchanges places inside that smoke, as it fades, Flay's turned the wrong direction. Risky makes the right call, and it's a 4K for Risky Bob. Another round where he saves the day.
Incredible round out of him. Flay certainly on for a couple of heroics there, but just faded that smoke out instead of waiting for it to fade. And looking, unfortunately, the wrong direction. Couldn't bring it to that 1v1. Didn't want to get frisky with a push himself. And there were just so many weird moments in that round. But Nemiga take it. And now the economy is completely ruined for Venom.
I'm not sure how you feel about this, but I've always been a big fan of sort of two-way players. You know, Flay and Klotsu, for example, were the Ivy players. Okay, wait, hold on. I was expecting this to be a pushover with the USPs. 3-on-3, as the aggression into Pop Dom has been successful. Sobol's got his hands on an AK as well as Klotsu. And they'll trade things out on their escape out from Pop as well. So B-bomb site is open, but this has been already a too close a call coming away into what is a full eco here for Venom. And there's still a chance to win it. They've still got 2 AKs.
A small victory already. And every extra rifle taken out of the hands of Nemiga keeps their economy humble. But Sobol, drawing attention away from Con, will not change the outcome. Khan getting it done with the big green gun as we tie things up at 9 apiece. But yeah, the round getting much closer than expected.
Right, so as I was saying, you know, Flay, Klotsu, they were the Ivy players on T side, and Flay's timing on CT was perfect. You know, of course he recognizes what the timing is. He's me. You know, they understand exactly what's available to a T side.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's fallen so out of, not necessarily out of meta, but it doesn't happen as often.
Okay. Risky spraying the smoke, caught off. Or HFAR even. As it's Risky again to get the openings. It is just a full-on chaos round. As Sobol brings it back to the 1v1. That flies through the smoke with that read on the Sawalio. Good info. Maybe heard, I think, a gun getting swapped or something there. But just locked right on and put a 10th on the board here for Venom. That one was a quick one.
Yeah, I mean, he knew that Sawalio got this kill on the spam, but the perfect read that he'd be wandering so close by just to hunt down that extra kill. I mean, that took so many twists and turns. I mean, the double kill from Sawalio was great, but then Sobol's one-upped him. It's a contest to who can have the biggest flash finish, it seems.
Yeah. What do they say? Go Lotto in all chat? Just one of them rounds.
Yeah.
Well, tactical taken, I think, to try to figure out, you know, how to stop that one from happening again. It looked so good until it didn't there for Nemiga. They got so much presence on the A site, but that last member doing way too much work. It's, it's anyone's game still, 9 out of 10.
And it's not exactly like Nemiga have tons of resources. They don't have every bell and whistle that they could want. They don't have AKs across the board. But they may still try and make it a chaos round again. Risky out towards red, but the rest of the team are inside of the white holes, ready to spring into that B bomb site. Risky's just hoping to run some interference and catch a timing. He's out already close to Ivy, and this will not be face checked. Innocent finally noticing it, but he gets around the corner. He is not a casualty. Instead, Risky just making things incredibly uncomfortable, but the timing here for Flay working out. They all line up, and so they fall like flies up towards B. That bomb spotted, and that lurk dealt with. Only Lear that remains.
No friendly fire in the mix as well. Sawalio just trying to stop that upper pressure from happening, but takes out someone in the meanwhile, and now you've just got Lear, 20 and 13. KD still looking like he could do this one. Already winning a couple of clutches, but not this time. HFAR ready. Great movement to spot the head. And we'll put an 11th on the board for Venom. 2 more needed to take us to Ancient, but look at the timing from Flay there. He's so lucky to be alive. What was that, 3 points of health after that initial contact, beautifully done.
I love as well that our observer is on the ball because there's so much happening towards this Ivy aggression and crazy timing, and then, you know, for us to also have the wherewithal to see that what Flay is up to and the timing he's hitting. On either extreme, there is something happening. Compared to Dust2, where it felt like there was a lot of early round stalemates, there has been action across the board. And here's more. Sobol aggressing through B into Pop, and he will be allowed to escape. HFA covering his exit. Teammates already keeping hold of that B bomb site as well, so there's no spring in the step for Nemiga to capitalize on what could have been a vacant B bomb site. It is heavily occupied.
And at range, Flay taking names quite easily with the package now dropped towards upper. Khan hoping he can maybe get an angle here with a deagle, and he will for one on the re-peek. Crosshair looked good, but couldn't connect onto Klotsu. And it's Risky Bob with a Glock against the world. Spotted, dealt with. Easy 12th for Venom. But now's going to be the more difficult one. Nemiga playing for OT with that full save, able to get rifles back online and a good amount of util, almost everything you could need and more. But can they find the strat to bring a W back?
Yeah, this is looking like this could just be a closeout here for Venom. Pretty tightly contested train, but even with all these rounds being so chaotic and back and forth, Venom have come out the better end of it. Xanter this time taking that early spawn out towards red, and they're looking to wrap it, but he turns his attention the right side, but it's Klotsu that comes away with a double. Sualio hunting that trade, only to fall victim himself, but Khan does punish a peek over towards the upper side, and so they could spring into this B bomb site, but they're losing members. Only for Risky to answer back, but just continuing to fish for extra damage. It's Khan now in a 1v3.
Innocent in a power position, right where the T's by guns. Let's see if Khan clears that left side, if he even looks this direction. But he's just going to let the time tick down. Shadow seen and dealt with. Innocent gets it done 13-9, and Train a completely different ball game to what we saw on D2, which means, Yumi, we are going to need Ancient to separate these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, a really, really tight contest between these two, but yeah, Venom doing enough on their map pick, and so both teams winning their map picks in this series. I'm expecting Ancient to be... It does seem like Nemiga have come away with the knife round, and I'm expecting that they'll start on that CT side, even with a... I can talk and wax lyrical about their T side calling, but CT side starts are usually where everyone feels most comfortable.
Let's see if the comfort is going to be found, as it seems like we will be getting straight into the fun, straight into the action. And let's see who is going to stay here in the upper bracket for ESL Challenger League Season 50 here in Europe. And let's see who's going to be going down to the depths of the lower bracket to brawl it out and have a shot later on at the title again. However, 2-3 split coming through for Venom, and heavy mid presence. Nemiga on these pistols have found a lot of success, but they'll boil down to the timing. And there's that first contact. HFAR going to be spotted, and with that info, Venom, they're just going to fall back and take the bomb, well, somewhere. They're still figuring that one out.
Oh god, this is weird. Risky needed at least his one. He would have happily escaped with his one kill if he could have, but he'll be glad that he didn't end up empty-handed, because there's been a lot of investigation here from Nemiga. They cleared out middle, they cleared to B lane, they saw nobody. And so, yeah, it's not unusual for Risky to get investigative. The Venom may be still falling towards this B bomb site. Khan and Lear are linked up together. Lear doesn't have armor. He had that full belt of util earlier on, but he's now shoveled that off to Khan while Lear holds his position down in cave. But now with the util sailing over, reinforcements should be on their way quite quickly.
Space creation going well so far, but you want to take that long control. Bomb plant also high priority, and that'll just happen. Klotsu, little booty coming around the corner, but the cover is good enough. So small victories in the depths of the chaos. But it is going to be Nemiga taking the pistol.
Yeah, I mean, really good choice there from Lear. He's the one who bought all the util. He had the smoke to block a ramp, he had the HE and the flash, and he gave that all the way to Khan so that he could play more for the retake. You know, Lear would be the one that fights heavy from cave, expecting to be full cleared or split upon, perhaps even from lane. And Lear died quite quickly, but Khan got all of his util out. He did great damage on their progress up ramp, and the flash as well just added to the chaos. So a very selfless move there from the in-game leader. Put his teammates in good positions to win out the round. Force buy here from Venom, though. They get 3 Galils out, a Mac 10, and a deep HE that does a lot of damage onto HFA, just on the default. This will be a defensive setup here for Nemiga.
Jiggling. There's that info. Risky Bob. Defensive utility to deny a push straight through the donut. Hunting with the sprays, but won't be able to find anything successfully. And it's Red Room being our target. Okay, straight in behind enemy lines. Khan with the info line for here. And they push into A main to try and posture for a retake on A if it is going to be this full wrap around. Sobol doesn't get it done with the Mac 10, but has the info on these CT's positions. So bomb should be planted. Unless for some reason they aren't covering Swalio on the peak, but they're not going to peek it at all. Volley forward, an opportunity as Klotsu spots that second CT tucked into the corner. That's going to be risky, Bob. Goes up on the ledge and hopes that he can hit it, which he will for one. But no more going to be found. 1v3 for Lear. Let's see if he can do it again.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask for. They've been completely hoodwinked, outmaneuvered, even with some good counter actions. Yeah, no kit available here for Lear, so he'll just grab that M4 and save. I love the push-pull from what both teams were doing. They lose a bit of space towards Donut. The B players get aggro there on Nemiga. They clear out B lane. But in their scramble back to support that A bomb site, even with them taking over A main control as well and winning that fight, there was a great cutoff there from HFA, as well as the urgency there from Venom to actually retake A main. Because if they have to worry about Donut, main, and CT while trying to defend that A bomb site, it would have been impossible. So I love that they just attacked one of those vectors and stopped Nemiga from even doing anything. Just layers on layers for either team. Just even the slide into Red Room on the mid control was a really solid call for Venom.
Easy mid control. HFAR swinging as wide as possible. And this 1-4 split is a setup off the potential preferences from Venom to go towards this A site. But this time we know that the bomb is going to be back towards B main. If they get this pick onto Xanta, then maybe they can just open it right on up. But seeing the M4 towards A, do they now think that the stack's towards B? And how are the mind games going to be played out?
Well, they're calling their bluff, it seems. Bomb is gravitating towards elbow and A main, just as Nemiga have completely changed their setup. Now it's 4B and 1A. Innocent will just be the one that runs interference. 2 smokes, one that was dropped over earlier on will help sell this fake. And they'll try and contact out from main, but they may have to accelerate, and that will give Risky a little bit of forewarning. And he has a smoke. He's used it to block off in Donut, and so he actually has nothing to run interference on the site itself. Now Nemiga realize that they're out of position. This is a free plant here for Venom. But this could still get interesting. Risky if he maintains space into Donut. Things can get awkward. The HE does some decent damage, but he is chased down. And Innocent getting his kill on the lurk as well. So chances have dwindled down. Like Venom should just clear this one up.
Yeah, making all the right moves. Swalio, ooh, a chance. Won't connect on the HFAR. Fleeting. opportunities. And sometimes the 5.7 hits good. Sometimes the inaccuracy is a huge factor at long range. But Lear still living with the M4, still carrying this across to the next to potentially chip down on a few of the Venom individuals, but so far so good here on the T side.
Yeah, the perfect read. Really, they did just call Nemiga's bluff. I mean, Lear being aggressive frontside donut, it's so easy for him to rotate towards that B-bomb site if he wants. But he called a lot of the troops over as well, all the reinforcements that solidified control of A for something just completely given away. Tried again, forward A pressure. That's what they did last round with that M4. But they get Sobol into a deep spot, and they look to reinforce other areas. It's heavy mid-control here from Venom. 3 smokes already used.
It's just a matter of when they want to go. And if these pistols can find any success, Xanta with the 5.7 going to be able to take that first head. And they wait for this swing. Flash dodged. Great patience displayed from the Polish individuals. And we're going to see a boost across the top of this smoke. Does it allow Lear an angle? Not initially. Holds on to that trigger until the smoke fades away. There's the info, but Sobol too sharp with the M4. And it's all just about what Sobol can get done on the flank. Zeus for the exit. Let's see if he can shock Flay. And it looks like we will see a few Ts come in this direction. So I don't think you'll get away with a weapon. But AK's there. Ooh, and another found is not too bad.
Wait, the bomb maybe? Nah, too late. Yeah, HVA survives. Had very, very low health. That bomb would have taken him down had it exploded. So, I mean, damage is still decent here for Sobol. The fact he was able to get away with 2 with just that Zeus. But they're hoping for some success. They come away with the pistol, and they've lost 3 straight. See what their plan is coming away from this timeout. They don't have that AWP in Khan's possession. There's reduced to a FAMAS. And they had a very, very clear understanding of how that round was developing. I mean, 3 smokes used on mid-control. They knew that there was 1 donut, 1 red, 1 cave. They spotted all 3. And then they saw 2 smokes going over to that B-bomb site. They knew it was coming. It was just that counterplay they wanted with that flash to Ram. That what could have been a great opportunity for them to further their advantage ended up allowing Venom back in. But they're on a low buy. They need to hope that they could be as creative on their gun rounds. Risky at taking a lot of damage just on fighting for mid-control. Eats 2 nades on the rip. So he's down to 3 HP. Okay, that could have been a decent block on the smoke there from Klotsu, but it still accomplishes its job. They can be down B lane. There's heavy presence out from Nemiga to establish control. The Venom are fine with this. This was actually one of the few rounds they didn't go in with any particular urgency for lane pressure or mid. They sat back to see what Nemiga would do, and it's not enough to find an opening.
Just a very patient approach, all things considered. Only 2 smokes remaining on Nemiga to block. But with the advanced position from Xanta, they're looking for good info towards lane. If Flay doesn't end up coming through, you'll see that Nemiga, they are not convinced it's going to be the B play at all. Doubling up, boosting over towards Plat. Lear across the top. Huge damage with the FAMAS. And that's going to be the bomb left behind. 20 seconds to retrieve that and make it happen. Oh, and Xanta could have just sealed the deal right there. 10 seconds to get to site and plant. Risky Bob on the trade game. 3 points of health to hold the A site, and there's minimal time to plant. Smoke even bounces higher, which denies vision. and denies a chance to get this one down, but the spray is good and Risky Bob will save the day. Flay hoping he doesn't fall after time, and he will. Detrimental long-term effects on the economy, but it's a round that Nemiga desperately needed.
Oh no, absolutely. That play there from Lear, just taking that risk on what is a botched red smoke, just took his advantage over the top of that duel and fighting those two. It did rely on Sobol to come away with a double, and that was just too much to ask. Risky, even though he started the round on 3 HP, somehow able to get away with 2 kills just by trading teammates and playing good position. Yeah, the repercussions are felt here for Venom, losing a player after time. They win those 3 rounds straight, but they come in with a Tech 9 and a Galil. The rest are on AKs, but their money will be broken should they seed this one.
Red smoke for HFAR to explore the possibilities at mid. But again, incredibly passive approach with just Sawalio jiggling in donut. And a relatively solid defense here towards B, which is what Venom are walking into. And this time, the adjustments from Nemiga are just hold on to these smokes. Don't use them too early. They realize that Venom are playing down the clock over and over. And there is a lot of members that are going to be blocked by this smoke on the vent in Cave. They're going to have 20 seconds to retake Cave if they want. But it looks like ramp they'll have to go for.
They may just have to hope that the extra manpower at ramp will be enough to crack through. The flash that will slow things down, but Risky takes the fight, and so it's an instant headshot. Xanter now trapped inside of Cave, and it's only Lear that fights from the back of the bomb site. He ends up empty-handed. Now Xanter, attention's race into the site itself, could get blindsided. But Xanter's hoping that he finds the right time to strike. Instead, a nade that's greeted him, and bullets as well. This is a hell of a B-site collapse. Venom find 3 uncontested kills. They barely take licks of damage. No one really in dangerous territories, and nothing to be saved here. Klotsu cutting off the retreat, and they're thirsty for blood. Sobol will even track down a third. What looked like a dire start, given Venom's limited options, suddenly circulates into a fantastic B-side approach.
Yeah, that'll do it for sure. A 4th found, and almost flawlessly, except for Klotsu falling towards the end. But again, it did not look like that was going to go that well, but the molly at long forcing the fight from Risky Bob, making things that much easier. So good utility usage from Venom. And they'll warrant themselves a nice, easy round against USPs and a Deagle.
Yeah, just also another time where Nemiga have tried to go for that flash play on B slope, and it's just been like a half second too early or late.
Yeah.
And they've ended up worse for it.
Let's see if they commit on this BXX. Obviously, we know it's a fake, but if they find nothing in sight, then they can call the troops back, and that is what we're going to see. Full site control, smoke's fading.
Yeah, Innocent's all the way out.
Yeah, the stack was the right call, though. Look at it. It almost worked.
Innocent had to maybe scream down the microphone, guys, there's actually nobody here. Nobody's shot. No one's done anything. Please just come back. Yeah, this is something, when we look at anti-strat material, this is actually something that can be such a tell. Nemiga, both times in the ramp aggression, I said early or late, it's both times the flashes have been early, but it's because Venom have actually been hiding, waiting for the flash. I think it's probably something that they've looked at in Nemiga's demos, that anytime there's pressure on B, they go for this flash and peek from either long, or they try and fight from the site instead of just sit. And yeah, I think both times Venom have almost used that as their cue to strike. They've waited for that flash and then swung.
That's just good
Can just
counter-strike.
reveal itself in the smallest things.
Good prep work, great teamwork, and good protocols. But let's see if it's going to be the same thing here. Mid pressure. Not being displayed by Nemiga. Just the early incense, but Risky Bob. Throwing a couple of flashes for the Heaven play, the crunch on Banana. Azanta and Lear. Ooh. Okay, it's actually Risky Bob to find that first pick, just spraying blindly through the smoke. Catching HFR in transition. And Xanta could be in a world of hurt, depending on the timing from this swing from Klotsu. If Lear can't hold, there's the chance to activate, and this is the timing I was talking about. Klotsu comes through, but Lear does his job immaculately by finding those first 2 picks, locking onto cave control, extra chunk damage through the wood wall. And this is going to be way too hard for Flay and Klotsu to close.
Oh, the spam is so close there for Risky, but it doesn't do any extra damage. Flash primed here for Klotsu to take over Cave, but he already has control of it. It's that flank timing onto a ramp they have to be really concerned about. And they'll swing out for Klotsu, coupled with that flash. He needed the double, though. Flay now has too much left on his plate, surrounded from all sides, and that is just simply not enough cover to do so. So this will be a 3rd round here from Nemiga. I have one question. How on earth has Lear come away with a double kill there? He's walking out from Cave in a 2-man setup, aggro to lane, not ready for the right side swing. First kill, fine, but a second, he was on 10 health for a second duel. I can't believe it.
Angles, geometry, his brain is bigger than everyone else's, so he knew that at that specific moment in time, in the whole timing of the universe, that was the perfect place to be. He's
just warped all of Counter-Strike to make that one work.
Yeah. Just a part of the Source 2 engine. Now let's see if Nemiga can put some sauce on this one. As they're going for the 1-1-3 setup again, and Lear's going aggro. Banana Crunch is good. This time a slight shift in the setup for Venom. More members towards the doors. Flash to take main control. Sawalio still jiggling. He won't be forced to drop the molly yet. Or drop the smoke even.
Another very safe approach here on the T-side default here for Venom. I've tried a couple targeted attacks so far on this T-side. It's mainly been focused to B lane and mid. This time going for a later timing, bleeding about a minute off that clock. Xanter deep position alongside Lear, who was spotted here last time over and came away with that outrageous double, but Xanter cannot deliver on that same promise. 2 kills there for Klotsu. And some presence over towards B. That smoke is completely off the mark, but it lands deep CT. So it, in a way, does help segment off long and short. But there's that lurk from Sobol, and Klotsu finally dealt with. So B is now under CT control, but now the T's have A instead.
Yeah, Klotsu, even though he did fall in cave, able to get every bit of information. He heard Sawalio rotating it and died to Khan at long, so knows that they should both be around that CT area, but things still not locked in. 1 bullet to put Khan and Sawalio in the grave. And I believe Khan's just trying to draw attention away from Sawalio, but it might just be exits that they're after. It feels like Khan's taking his sweet old time to go towards main, and Venom will be happy with the round, even if everyone falls.
Yeah, just securing exits and some extra money will be the objective. Hard to justify going into this retake with a bullet between you and your life. So,
yeah.
This will be another round here for Venom. I was a little curious about why HFA kind of swapped off his angles. Timings were good there for Venom on the A attack. They knew one had got out. He knew he had them sectioned on the rotation, and they flicked his crosshair away. That was a bit confusing. He's actually been a very sharp shooter for the team. Has made some, honestly, great reads. I mean, Trainee had some great double kills, some entries on that map and Dust2, but very curious when he's left in that lurking position. Didn't necessarily have a full read on what was happening.
I want to commend Venom as well, though. There was a few points over on Train where we would see them read that Nemiga was sort of just making fake plays, that they were taking map space, And then Venom would just contact back in. And we saw it again there in the last round where they'd fully lost Banana, but instead of telling or wasting even utility that they were going to retake Banana, they just contacted in as 3, walked up to Cave, and then won that 2v2 trade, which ended up making the round that much easier for them from the back of that. After, of course, Lurking activated, A site gets cleared out. But they're just not throwing more utility than that is necessary. And they really like just, bleeding out the timer.
Yeah. I mean, they're on the default, they're almost always throwing Molotov ramp, HE to window. They're trying to be disruptive. They're trying to feign presence, but they're never overcommitting to their fights. So yeah, I agree. I've been really actually enjoying watching both sides because they're both very proactive. They've got a lot of, I can tell both these teams have a lot of set pieces, a lot of ideas. I think there's sometimes an absence of that in some tier 2 rosters, and the ones that we see rise through the rankings, as we've seen for both Venom and Nemiga, the ones we see rise through those rankings are the ones that actually do seem to have quite a few of those protocols, or some crazy superstar that people are keeping their eye on for maybe even jumping to tier 1. So I don't think either of these two teams actually have that talent, but they have the prep work and the teamwork to make it actually quite compelling.
And also, it's just the amount of prep work that is, I think, quite obvious when you're watching them play. So, good to see Innocent. He's still sort of feeling out this IGL role, but it seems to be working. The more I've been watching this team play, the more that it seems like it makes sense what they're doing, even though sometimes maybe the read might be off. It's all a learning process at the end of the day. And that they've all got the skill to back it up, the mechanics to back it up. You've seen so many moments where every single individual on this team of Venom has the opportunity to display what they're capable of. It's just a matter of, them all firing up at the right time.
Yeah, I think this is also some of the allure of actually national teams. Whenever I've thought back to national teams, it's almost always been, more tactics focused, nade stacks, good, fast, impulse decisions as to how to make good team play work on flashes in chaotic moments. I always think that actually has come from national teams, and I guess I have to remind myself of that allure because we've seen this massive shift for a lot of rosters to go international and to play more scrappy, dually Counter-Strike. It's been more default, aim heavy over the past year or two. Actually, I'd argue maybe even the last half decade, we've seen that slow transition. And yeah, to have these two teams where it is taking us back a little bit to some national level Counter-Strike, and I'm all about it.
Yeah, it's great to see when teams and individuals as well make that change to an international speaking team and just how long it may actually take them to adapt to that. I think, someone that could be a good example of that right now that is currently learning not just a whole different system, but also how to, I guess, speak more in English would probably be Jacob. He's obviously under the thumb, under fire, because he's in a big name team, big organization, and it's not working. But we don't essentially know what is happening for him. Is he adapting to, speaking in an English lineup? Obviously coming from Apogee, it's been quite fine for him, speaking Polish his whole career and able just to, focus on his crosshair, do the shooty shoot, look like an incredible player. But now he's, facing some adversity because there's a lot of pressure. He's got to speak in a not native tongue. There's many things going on. So look, that's my take on that anyway.
Playing roles that he's not familiar with either, and trying to replace a veteran in those spots that everyone loves. So yeah, I'm totally with you. My kind of heart's out for Jacob, but he's not the pole in the server. In fact, we have 5 that are waiting, or rather 4 actually that are waiting to go. One of them has disconnected, his PC has crashed, and apparently now is a Windows update. So we aren't sure how long that'll take, and so we won't keep waffling for this entire duration. We're going to throw it to a break, and when we're back, we'll continue play between Venom and Nemiga Esports.
I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become. I'll keep going till my feet become. I'll keep going till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
Well, welcome back. We finally have everybody back in the server. Sobol having some issues with his PC and a Windows update, but he's here and he's ready to go. 6 and 3 is where we left things off on the final map between Nemiga and Venom, who are still on that T side and have been doing a pretty good job of finding these cracks in the Nemiga armor.
Yeah. We are updated and we are so back. Flay already boosted and already with a bit of information. Molly towards the long side, forcing the fight out of Khan, who fortunately for him has a whole bunch of helping hands, and this is going to be a fully cut down round in a matter of seconds.
A 4K on that MP9. I have to commend Lear for his accuracy and his control. Venom wanted to go up-tempo, up through B-ramp after a long tech pause, maybe catch Nemiga with cold hands, but instead they end up as cold bodies.
We'll see if they can heat it back up. Obviously, things were going right before the elongated tech pause. And that is a perfect thing, I guess, for Nemiga, because the momentum has shifted. And they've had a lot of a chance to get themselves sorted, but HFAR, whoa, trying to give him the heat there, but can't. Gun out at the ready. Able just to lock down that mid control, but it's A main they now need to worry about, unless we do see a full rotation back late to mid for Venom.
Khan's still not giving away the space, but he's making some noise close donut. Trying to bait for Risky, who sits inside of window, but he just barely missed the timing, pulled his knife, but he spotted the head. So goes back into position, realized that he could have actually left Khan for dead if he didn't rectify that mistake. There's now 2 inside of donut, just as they slide out towards this A site.
Off angle. So Leo, nice little headshot onto Klotsu. Sobol able to cross over towards Temple side, but again, there is just minimal utility to play with. Last smoke going to go over towards Donut, which isolates the fight like they like it, and Risky Bob able to get the late trade. So, beautifully done. All activating there on the retake, the flood to deny the plant, and there's going to be no money at all for Venom here in the final round of the half.
Yeah, really fishing for a duel, but they weren't getting anything easy. Even the up-tempo move to try and catch Khan inside of Donut. It's kind of a shame because the first flash was so good onto Khan that the second flash did nothing. Khan retreated completely. Got a fair duel in the end. Not a lot of resources here for Venom. It's just all pistols, and sure, they've got belts of util. Well, they'll be contained towards lane and B slope. Xanter overwhelmed, though. Doesn't hit a shot on that AK. And they'll run right past, but they don't clear out for Lear. 2 kills there from the in-game leader, and Risky will answer with a third as well. Khan even spamming away. And it will just be Flay tucked into the back of this site. Smokes are all that he has as Sanctuary, and that will not be enough. After that long timeout, we're going to have to throw ourselves over to a break, but when we come back, we'll see the conclusion of this series between Nemiga and Venom.
Let's flip this around, shall we? 6-6 at the half again, similar to what we saw on Train. But Venom over towards CT side. Let's see what they get off on. Let's see what Nemiga can do on the T side. So far, they have been incredibly successful on a lot of these pistol rounds. Looking like their prep work has been going a long way. Let's see if it happens again and if they expect... Oh, this aggro out of HFAR.
Oh dear, that really could have been an opening start. Instead, he's just a victim. Flay getting 2 at least in response, and Innocent with 1 as well to ramp. So that bomb is dropped out in no man's land. Innocent will still hope to protect it, but Khan runs down to pick up that package and finds the head of Innocent as well. So while he's been decapitated, the players on Nemiga will hope to reposition, and they'll pick the right side of the map. Sobol was re-aggressing down B ramp. They'll find a vacant A bomb site and a 2-on-1 that they can fully play out.
Bomb has been planted.
I'm a Sobol believer. He's got that kit. He's got 5 extra seconds to squeeze as he retakes the donut. Oh, and the elbow was seen, and now he knows where both of them are, but needs to hit some crispy ones, and Sawalio realizes that Knife Out getting straight out of dodge and creating a bit of space between him and Sobol. But does he realize that there is going to be this smoke that he has to try and muster? And he will stop the cross eventually. Hits him with that big, wide swing, and Nemiga take another pistol.
Oh my goodness, he took such a risk with that. I mean, didn't have armor as well, so, you know, both of them were lacking in that area. And, you know, recognizing that there's that smoke down, things can get awkward. There's so many options for Sobol. You could tap it, you could slink around the back of default, you could fully stick it, who knows. But, yeah, Sawalio, lovely shot, and a much needed one at that, because that 1-2 punch in Donut should have had more punch to it than it actually did.
Early boost up, expecting a site aggression. That's not what we're going to see out of Nemiga, who've already managed to slide Risky Bob just outside of Red Room. And the CTs seem to be cautious of this as a fact, but more worried about the stack here on the B site instead. With all these shots starting to come through, CTs get in front of those T-smokes, but their smokes themselves also completely divert Nemiga back towards the donut, and Sobol is going to be victimized from it. Risky Bob going to be spotted on his way through CT. It has been relayed, but now he's in between a bit of a rock and a hard place. More info spotted on Klotsu's position as Flay as well there at CT, but Risky Bob gets it done, and it's flawless in the end. Beautiful mid-round calling out of Nemiga.
Yeah, a little combo between slow, methodical play and a little bit of an up-tempo finish, just slinking their way into Donut and getting their kill, access into the bomb site that way, and then Risky just running all this interference. I was honestly surprised he blindsided Klotsu in the way that he did as well, but those 2 kills will be worth their weight in gold. Paid for his Mac 10, and like you said, everybody's surviving, so they can treat this as a bonus round, even against the half buy, as SMGs could farm up some extra cash as well.
Molly's clearing out all the chokes. Good use of that one to make sure that there isn't any sneaky CTs tucked on that cave choke, and you can put your focus more on the crossfire instead once you go through the vent side. And the Mac 10s coming out strategically to create as much space as humanly possible, playing to the strengths of the weapon and playing for that B site. 3 rounds in a row surely here for Nemiga.
Okay, love the decision as well for both the Khan and Xanter to swap weapons over so that the SMGs can continue to farm up extra cash. Xanter's like, let me at him. And so he will be gifted an opportunity to farm up that extra money. Almost all the kills fall the way of SMGs. So I imagine Khan will give that Khalil back. Or Xanter may just take his spawn. He's going to take his spawn instead. Okay, well, Xanter's been shortchanged. But Nemiga are feeling good anyway about the way that they're building their money. They're building rounds together. They played a very simple game plan against that half buy. Now against the full investment, maybe the extra mobility on these SMGs could just immediately redeem themselves into kills if players don't have head armor.
Oh, flames and the smoke from the molly, just not giving any info across to the T's. That one's going to hurt for sure,
forward.
But do they expect the CTs both on this left side? Klotsu falling. Yeah, Khan knows.
Yeah.
Well read. Oh, and almost gets that third opener, running out of bullets. Flay goes down and opens up the B site, but in the meanwhile, it is going to be that rotation right back. Sawalio, the only one with health here, will catch a timing, get the info that he needs. Sobol, he makes that footstep just to try to keep the T's guessing, but they read this and even spot that bomb just before the smoke blooms. Huge HE to chop down Sawalio, and this is getting way too messy for my liking.
They're even walking past the smoke. They want to chase him before he gets access to that bomb and an escape path, and the spray transfer is so damn close. A massive risk there for Venom, but they do pull through. These clears, the kills from Khan look so good, and then Risky surviving on 1 health. This round took so many twists and turns.
More
when
wild.
Sawalio missed his timing in red, it's like, where do you even go? They know where you are.
Yeah.
You know there's 1A, 1B.
It was like the overplay. So far, mid-round calling has been beautiful out of Nemiga, but I feel like that one leaves something to be desired. HFAR breaking the smoke.
Panic
just info at
stations.
mid. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it.
Wait, oh my, they all line up for Sobol, and it's just as simple as that. 12 out of the magazine, and straight to the bodies and heads of Nemiga. Sobol even finishing it up with a 4-piece. A full defense on this A-bomb site. It is Sobol through and through.
Incredible hold. And Nemiga just didn't throw, that first flash to try to blind him. And unfortunately, fully all line up. So you're talking about panic stations. And I think this is a good place to panic. You're trying to force things earlier in the round, and the CTs are just not capitulating. And Venom with that pick, going to put an 8th on the board, and especially in terms of the economy, try to make things look a little nicer. Quick tactical coming through from Nemiga, who will go for the Force, getting a couple of AKs in line. But what is the game plan?
I would like to say that they would slow it down, but I'm not so sure that will come to fruition. Insta-red, a smoke to window, and they group up inside of A main. HFAL was playing distant inside of red, but now reinforces that A-bomb site. Sobol gets his incendiary down at the right time, because they were hoping to prime a split, but Xanter finds the entry. And so now he can bridge that gap into the site itself. Smoke is late to spawn, and so Lear loses his life bit just before they break that smoke, and Khan comes away with a double on the spray, but they have that bomb out in no man's land. It's a 3-on-2 where Nemiga still trying to catch these rotates, but it's given away another kill. Back to 2-on-2, and Sobol finally dealt with in Donut. They can retrieve this bomb, and now they can serve to cover the plant.
Flash to create some space, and Klotsu looking for a line across the top. Good HE. Chipping down Xanter and trying to make this that little bit easier. Underarmed. In a good position. Xanter dodges that one, and Nemiga dodge the danger of a Klotsu clutch. 10-8, get to the double digits first, and steadying the ship. The force buy worked out, and this time the A site worked in their favor.
This is the map that I always watched Nemiga on, and I always looked at Khan and just thought, this guy should just rifle. Genuinely, he should just rifle. I mean, the 2 kills he got in Cave earlier, the double kill he gets to CT, all of these are, fantastic displays of what he can do on a rifle, and then things can get weird when that AWP starts coming out. But, I mean, also, Nemiga just play with such pace a lot of the time that I just wouldn't object with him having a rifle almost all of the time on T-sides. Very bursty, explosive team.
Ooh.
Oh my.
Okay, Klotsu. The Polish power firing right up, but maybe overextending. Innocent still here and living. And it's a full rotation back to B for everyone involved.
Khan just punished the A push, so they really could reconsider here. And yeah, they're starting to slink back away from Cave. Oh, they're anticipating this move from Venom, but at what time will it happen? And does it happen before they decide to round that corner or after?
Just going to boil down to the timing. Innocent searching. Finds the first, not expecting the second. Lear activates and finds the final man, but has that bomb on his back, so has to fight his way out. And that works well yet again. Lear IGLing and fragging up a W here. 2 rounds needed for Nemiga to close out the series.
It's just, it seemed like they were destined to be on that collision course. Both had the exact same idea. They wanted to bleed out that clock.
Yeah.
Make the opponent stew in discomfort, and both of them definitely felt a lot of uncertainty in that moment. But yeah, a very important double kill there for Lear. And another timeout called here by Nemiga. Surprised this has almost not come out for Venom instead. Because they're the ones that really have to evaluate how they keep themselves in this series. They don't have all the bells and whistles. They don't have that Flay AWP. It has been an important piece in many of the maps we've seen so far. This has been quite an extended series. Close affair on Dust2, quite close on Train, and then with the crash of Sobol, this one has felt even longer.
I think that's a good way to put it. Let's see what else could be on the agenda here. Oh, okay. Beautiful openings from the CTs. And the refrags across the map make things more difficult for Nemiga to close it out just yet. They're dropping silently and going for the pack play. As Flay will stack A. And the middle of the map just so open for the taking. Sobol has the smoke to deny a push. But has to tuck away into the corner and hope that he will be in safe hands here. Oh, Risky Bob, the spray finds Sobol eventually. And Flay already here on the choke point. Is unable to get anything done with the FAMAS. Look at this timing as well. It could be back to the 2v2 in just a matter of moments. Innocent and Klotsu both firing up and leaving Risky Bob in a 1v2 to try to make this one happen.
You have to cut off the escape path. Klotsu either has to beat him to B or cut him from making the rotate. But they might have to play segmented, separated by sights. Risky will make the ascent. He'll be outside of earshot. Nothing that Klotsu can do to beat him on the approach. And HE recovered off the corpse of his teammate. Risky can secure a plant here at the bare minimum. It won't even really be within range, but they'll finally see that notification. And with Klotsu being low, a well-placed HE or a well-timed peek, that could just be a free kill for Risky on his path to this clutch.
There's the timing. Oh, that lineup was just there. But just by a hair, Risky Bob not catching the timing, but he will catch those bullets. And a ninth will be found. Looking like this is going to take a whole lot of rounds, maybe every single one in regulation, to split the difference between Venom and Nemiga.
It really felt like that was Nemiga's round to lose. I mean, Khan had a great spot in deep red. They were meticulous about how they cleared out Donut as well. I thought Nemiga had almost every advantage. And then you just lose a couple of these important fights and, you know, that advantage is squandered. So it's a lifeline, I think, here for Venom. They were somewhat caught off guard by the re-aggression from Nemiga, even at the man deficit. Up tempo, Khan trying to spring into the B ramp fight, and does actually catch Innocent, a bullet, a warning, but nothing that Nemiga will continue to pursue.
And just real slow clearance of the top of ramp there. Innocent doesn't want to overstep, doesn't want to give up that opening, because the B site defenses could completely crumble if he fell. Smoke's invested just to block and buy some extra space and time for the CTs. But they're not convinced it's going to be B. Sobol in a good position to play retake on A. No utility remaining for him. And HFAR just jump peeking, staying active at mid, just looking for any bit of information. But what we can see from the map, what we can read, is it's probably an A split unless Xanta gets something done towards this B site.
Yeah, Red Room smoke, and then I imagine Lear will smoke off Spawn or Donut as they hope to contact out towards the same bomb site. They have very limited utility, so they will need to go out and get Broly with it, but they smoke off Donut themselves. So Lear can actually focus that smoke straight to Spawn. Well, they'll boost up, and they'll catch Sobol. He's out in the open. And so that's exactly the runway they need to break into this bomb site. Khan can even make his way past Donut. That smoke that was blocking him off. Man advantage here for Nemiga as they're trapped behind smokes. They don't have HEs to blow it. They might have to sail through on timing or just wait for the CT smoke to elapse. Venom are out of position, and these flashes have to be right on the money.
There's that first one. Sawalio not blind. And the second to come through will not hit the mark either. Off angle. Here's the drop and activates on the contact from the Plat player. It's looking way too easy in the post plant as Lear solidifies it with the Deagle spam. One needed for Nemiga to continue their foray here in the upper bracket.
Just such a difference it makes getting that clean entry. They expended so many resources on Venom that because they're so split up and they were far more B heavy, they were just simply out of position. Like, they needed to swarm that site before that plant and before Nemiga got into comfortable positions, because you saw how quickly they hinged off of each and every fight.
Yeah. Just making all the right moves. And I think you were on the money. That smoke at Donut works more against them than for them. And the boost on the Plat couldn't have been more perfectly timed. 3 more chances for Venom to play for OT, but again, they just don't have the best tools to make this happen. Klotsu hoping someone walks into his trap on the off angle here, over towards Cave side. And Flay thinking mid could definitely be a problem. But Klotsu left so alone, so incredibly alone, with a molly that doesn't quite reach him.
They used 2 of them as well.
Yeah, that's just missed the mark, I guess, and at least able to find the first man, but won't get a second. Surely not a third. Surely not a third. Ain't no way. Lear coming through with an extra bit of damage, but Flay dropping the bomb in Cave could have just saved the day. Smoke going to be going down on the Cave choke, and with reinforcements coming in from Heaven's side and fully clearing out all of Jaguar, all the rest of it, they can just lock down the package and maybe lock down a round.
Yeah, Nemiga have nowhere to go. They know they need to go into Cave, and they have to wait these smokes out. Walking through would surely be a death sentence. It is swarmed by CTs. Sobol trying to play on timings. Risky spotted. They know that they're playing nearby, but they can keep pressure applied continuously. No need for 8-foot a swing. No need to take contact. Risky, a shot that's a swing and a miss, and Flay can just simply peek off of his contact. Just like that, Klotsu gives them a lifeline. 2 kills on that MP9 on a failed Molotov will keep Venom right in this game.
That's crazy. Klotsu, take a bow. The MVP performance to buy time, not only with that first pick, but the second that he never should have got. And Flay arriving just in time to make sure that the bomb went down and the B pincer was completely defended. And a chance now. You look at the lack of an economy from Nemiga. They're not getting it done now. Surely not. With a P250 and a Deagle and a full A-site pop in the future.
Yeah, it's the one thing that actually hasn't happened so far this game in all of the chaos. We actually haven't seen these rounds come through with a victory. We've seen damage, but this might just be cleanup on aisle 4. Sobol with 4 to clean the A site. And so Nemiga, they'll have to use every round of regulation to see if they can finish off here on Ancient.
Beautiful eco frags. Add the stats, but more importantly, keep the economy solid. OT to play for. and Nemiga a chance to close. This time, speeding things up over towards the mid side of things, and the CTs, they were here to fight as well, but they'll go back and spot Xanta, trying to make his way towards Heaven's side. Sawalio coming through, better late than never. And I think that's a similar thing for the Polish boys. 4v2 now to try to close this out and take us to overtime.
That's just full confidence. That's full flow state there from HFA. He decimated the first duel and immediately swung out for more. And while Sobol missed the initial timing, he'll backstab Lear at the perfect time. And so it's looking like we are destined for overtime. Kana 1v4 would certainly be impressive. I would add more credence to him being a rifler as a mainstay. Missed shot on Flay. And so Khan has dwindled it down to 3. Smoking Donut is finally faded, and with still 50 seconds left on that clock, not improbable, but there's a fresh smoke now down. And that smoke is firmly behind it.
Yeah. No chance at making it through the smoke to catch the package. Unless you can catch Venom lacking. And Khan realizing that there could be a third member searching. He's got a good read given the situation. But surely not like this. Incense. Whoa, forces Klotsu into the open, which draws attention away. Sobol just waiting for his moment to activate. There's a flash forcing him into the open. And there's that 12th. We are still going here. Overtime on the agenda.
Yeah, I mean, a great decision this round for Venom to have as many players as they did flurried towards either Donut or Red Room. It's very rare that they had that 3-man mid-start. And this was one of the moments where Nemiga wanted to play up-tempo. They wanted to fight for mid. Venom were in the right positions to greet them this time over. And yeah, if Nemiga start off in a 4-on-2, it's really hard for things to be salvaged. So Venom are still alive and kicking. They've gotten some great multi-kills out of thin air. Some players that probably should have gotten only 1 kill at most, away with 2 or more. And those heroics could be enough to pull away with the series. Totally different starting position here for HFA. Never saw the CTs take that risk a single time in regulation.
Oh,
that is certainly a risk to take. Reloading out in the open with no smoke. But oh, HFA got his, and Sobol will at least trade on his exit. So the double kill from HFA's surprise position. Man advantage still retained here for Venom.
shots coming through, and the trade game good, but Sobol just waiting out this smoke. And oh, gifted it. But it's flayed to snatch it away, coming through at Red Room just in time. And you'll take that every day of the week as a Venom fan. 13-12, out to the lead and a chance to drag it out even further.
Yeah, I love the decision to play a cheekier angle than you've dared to do in regulation, especially on the comeback, to push it to overtime. Just take one risk, and it pays it off in a massive way there for Venom. Played a very contained CT side in general. It was actually Nemiga that were almost constantly being aggressive on their CT side, especially as they were losing many of the rounds when they had to deal with the full side executes. I have not felt the same way.
Good info gained from Innocent there. Waited for the flash, jumped across, spotted the AWP, boosted even. It was like a boosted and a posted combination. But again, high-low setup going to be forced to fight, will work in favor of Venom. And off the back of that, you can see the bomb trying to get right out of dodge, leaving the vicinity, and setting their sights back towards A instead. Sawalio, maybe a chance for him to lurk it through red, make it through donut, but the T's all splitting up will make this trade game, well, not really a trade game at all. But will it even be needed? Sobol now, feeling the pressure.
Yeah, that was definitely a real uncomfortable surprise there for Flay. Player up close and personal. Sobol smoking off donut and playing inside of the smoke. He's waiting for a sound cue on a player exiting He hears that Molotov, and he'll slide in right behind. But there's another player that's linking up into Donut. Instead, their attention's drawn the wrong way. Risky looking on his flank. And while a player is out on the bomb site itself, he no longer has teammates. Soalio surrounded. It's only these two members that remain here for the CTs, but there's only 20 seconds left on that clock. And there are no smokes. There is no safe sanctuary for Soalio plant. He'll tap it, but he's not on. He's spotted. And he is running out of options. He's running out of space, and he will simply not get the chance to punch in those digits. Klotsu to close.
Yeah.
A double kill, and 2 rounds straight for Venom coming straight into this OT.
Sobol, the reposition through the smoke, MVP for the round. That pick completely changes the fate of it. The pressure coming through from Nemiga, I guess a little bit too late, but that smoke play, crucial in the grand scheme of things.
Such a clever move. Not one that many would make, but...
Yeah.
Again,
That's a puggy one.
big way.
Definitely relying on the game sense of the situation. Let's see if Flay... Ooh, can get a couple of names here. Spotted dropping back towards the big box. Molly going to dislodge him, but he won't be able to find himself a second. It's just going to be the 1-for-1. And big info coming through for Viper to play off. It's just a matter of what they can do to stop them from making their way to site. HFAR, beautiful work to find 2 there. Whole bunch of headshots coming back left, right, and center. And we're going to see Nemiga look for temple control. Molly in forward, facing behind the flames, going to catch Innocent in the mix of things. But there's not a lot of health for these 2 Ts to play with.
They're always getting struck where they least expect it. And they get caught on the flank. Khan even dealt with. It is a clean sweep for Venom on that CT effort. They get into the overtime. Just even getting to this point, they required 3 rounds in succession. And they get 3 more right off the rip. And to be honest, in these past 6 rounds, I have to give it to HFA, the Phantom. He just disappears. He comes away with double kills. Players not looking at him almost consistently from cave to middle to temple. He has surprised Nemiga to no end. And they're going to really have to bunker in to get 3 straight themselves.
Hits him with the boo during spooky season, which, you know, is definitely something that you love to see. Let's see what Nemiga have for us here on the CT side. They're looking for banana control. They're looking for mid control. They're doing everything they can in the early round. And it's been a hot minute since we saw Venom on the T side. And if you remember back to regulation, they were playing real damn slow, waiting at that util. And that's what we're seeing again. But this time the CTs might hang around and look to lock down banana control. Xantha taking fights through the B-door smoke. And Klotsu just getting every bit of sound info that he can.
Yeah, on the damage exchange, the CTs are definitely worse for wear. And for a lot of aggressive moves, and have come away with no advantage. And like you said, slow and steady here for Venom as they retake that control, but it does limit their options and their ability to bounce between bomb sites.
Double setup here in Cheetah. Neither one to take point. Risky Bob, the trade man. And Xantha will be smoked off, tries to peek in front of it to get as much info as he can. And here's a lot of footsteps on their cross towards the site, but no damage done just yet. There's that plant again, late with the clock, but we still got 10 alive in the post plant. Finally, blood is drawn, and Innocent will fall as well from the spam. Lear looking to just continue causing damage as it's a late lurk in on that Cheetah side. Flay happy to show face and go back towards ramp to stack this one up.
Full nade set on Lear, has a smoke that he can block off onto ramp, and that's the only safe haven that Venom have to operate around. It's a deep nade, and no smoke smoke on that bomb just yet. In fact, it's late. Sobol finding all the kills, and he'll find every single one they need. It is a clean sheet, and we get into the overtime. It is a close affair between both these teams, but Venom maintain form in this upper bracket and push forward to that upper bracket semifinal.
They get it done. A beautiful CT slider on OT, and then again, just timing it out